Bienvenue à another episode of your favorite podcast, Unresolved Textual Tension. Voici mes co-hosts, Maria et Katie. Je m'appelle Valerie. Je suis not a evil witch. Today we read Agnes Aubert's Mystical Cat Shelter by Heather Fawcett. The French it takes place in Montreal in the 1920s. Kind of magical
vibes.
That's our basic vibes.
And those of you who have watched several videos with Katie and I, you might think Heather Fawcett. That sounds familiar. That's because Katie and I reviewed her Emily Wilde's the trilogy,
and I read it too.
Yeah, and we've all read them. And we loved them. They were great. Even if we had issues with the second and the third book, overall enjoyment. Like overall, even in the third book for me was wild, but I liked the characters, so it kept me wild. So it kept me hanging around. And so I think we all went into this
expecting quite a bit, honestly. And ladies, did we find it?
Nothing. I found nothing. I was so angry. This book made me so angry. And for someone who I was so impressed with overall, I feel betrayed. It is worse because, at least it is worse than when Val and I read Shiver. Because while Shiver is vastly more terrible as a book, Shiver gets a pass because it was very early in Steve Otter's writing journey and her publishing journey, where this
is brand spanking new
and comes after Emily Wilde.
It's the thing is, it's more betraying because it's the shape of a lot of things that I really like,
Mm-hmm.
And it's just and I know she's a good writer, I know she could do this, it's just man, it fell flat this time. And there's pieces of it I did like. I actually cried at part of this book,
one part
later in it.
I think I know the exact part.
Probably.
Yeah. When she meets Robin on the street.
The grief, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The grief stuff really hit.
I also that hit.
If anything, ladies, I argue that this whole novel would have been improved upon if it was a study in grief instead of a rom adventure.
The novel
fantasy.
doesn't know what it's doing. It doesn't know what it's doing.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do my version of the premise here?
Do your premise.
All right, everyone come in close. I'm going to premise you in a way, and you're going to tell me if this maybe reminds you of anything. All right. So we start with our main girl. She's a very practical young woman, and she works at a cat shop, and due to a recent loss in the family, a magical calamity of sorts happens, and she ends up being the sort of house cleaner of sorts for an evil dark wizard with a bad reputation. And let me tell you about this evil dark wizard, who is, maybe a little bit kinder than he seems. He's a pretty boy, as he's a slob. He loves spiders. He changes his appearance. He wears a lot of jangly jewelry. He's just sort of eccentric and and he's very dramatic when he gets the sniffles. So she continues on. They get to know each other. She develops sort of a begrudging crush on him. She's charmed by him despite him being oh so evil and dark. And eventually the shop can sort of transport itself. The shop front goes from place to place due to magic. And eventually they start selling enchanted cats. And another thing about this wizard is he has one apprentice, basically the one person he spends any time with. And he also has an enchanted oven that ends up being very vital to the backstory behind why everyone believes he's so dark and evil and scary. And at the end of the day, our girl realizes, wow, he isn't so evil after all. And they continue their little life together with their enchanted cat shop.
And just, we can just go ahead and say spoilers a little bit. And she saves the day by time traveling.
Yes, I forgot to mention the time travel part. That's always...
So
there's probably more
yes.
that I missed.
Oh no, 100%.
It is ballsy as hell to try to write a sister story to what's the author's name again? I'm blanking.
Fawcett. Emily Wilde.
No.
Or Emily Wilde?
No, the author of Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh, Diana Wynne Jones. Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
was Howl's Moving Castle for anyone who doesn't know.
To make a book that basically inhabits the spirit of Diana Wynne Jones' novel, and yet
See, I think this is drawing way more from
the movie
than it is the novel. Fair. This is movie to a T. This
literally the last scene of the book. Let me tell you, I literally pictured like Howl and Sophie dancing off through the city. Like I pictured in my head.
This book is, and I didn't know. So number one, I have to be honest, I went in not realizing that this was Heather Fawcett. I just, per usual, cracked.
Oh, really?
Absolutely nothing.
I go to the schedule. I go, what book? I download it. I don't look at the cover, and I just start.
It would have been exactly the same for me if it were not for these ladies. Last time we met, they were like, yeah, it's Heather Fawcett or something like that. Oh, look.
Oh, my God.
Apropos.
Dazzler,
you're a better cat than anyone.
Don't you mean her Majesty?
Yeah.
Her Majesty, yes. But yeah, so I'm just reading it, and at first I was like, oh, I like this premise, because again, no idea. I just crack it open, start reading, and I'm like, ooh, how's this? And then the minute there was a magician underneath I was like, no, you gotta be fucking with me. And then I looked, and I was like, because at one point I remember just being pissed. I was just pissed at how this book was wasting itself and wasting its premise.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I also thought the same thing.
Yeah, and so I go to the front, and I finally look, I'm like, who the fuck's this author? And then I realize it's Heather Fawcett. It's Emily Wilde.
It's my beloved Emily Wilde.
Fairies get fucked. What are we doing? Like, I was so angry, guys.
It just felt like a fan fiction she wrote when she was really young, and she was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm already well published, let's go ahead and put this out there. And then she put it out there, and she made some changes, and she's like, success.
I'm
sorry,
Kyle,
Heather.
Sorry.
No. I'm sorry, Miss Fawcett. I love your work, but I did not like this one.
We're not mad. We're just disappointed. But I was talking to Kyle last night about like my issues with this book, and I was like, I don't remember if I told him this or someone else, but I was like, it's like, imagine there's like a brick wall, and it's kind of like crumbly, but it has a lot of character, like architecturally kind of beautiful. And then you hire a mural artist who's a good artist to paint over it, but she doesn't take into account all the little cracks and crevices on the wall. So the mural looks like shit, and now the wall looks like shit too.
Yep.
It's like her world building does nothing in service of the plot, and like her characters and stuff, her concepts have nothing in service. Like they just don't mesh well at all.
And it feels like, oh, I'm so sorry, Katie, but
no, go.
It feels like a second draft. We're like, with more polishing, more development, and a couple more passovers to work on, like some of the parts of this that don't work. I think this could have worked, even being like Howl adjacent, because let me tell you, what's his face from Encyclopedia of Fairies?
He's way more like Howl.
He's very Howl coded, but he has enough specificity and eccentricities to be his own person. The whole him being one of the Hashid, and like him like neatening and cleaning, and like
that's so cute.
It's so fucking cute, and it gives you, it grounds you. And unfortunately, our Howl analog here is like a cardboard cutout. It is like if somebody was like, you know, Howl from Howl's Moving Castle, honestly, thinking of it as a fan fiction is so nail on the head, Katie, because in fan fiction, you don't have to do a lot of the work to develop a character. You're relying on someone coming in already loving the character, already having the characterization, already being ensconced in that world. And that's what this feels like. It feels like it's a Howl's Moving Castle fan fiction, and I'm supposed to just be like, that guy's Howl, and then you just can ride from there. But it's not, and I didn't know that going in, and I wasn't prepared. So I was just angry.
And I would argue, sorry, real fast. I would argue that like the reason why Emily Wilde works so well is because the characters are intrinsically involved in the magic of the world. Like we've got a researcher, we've got a fairy guy. Like they're involved in it. And here, it just felt like she was moving these cardboard cutouts. Oh, cute cat shelter, and then she has all this cool magic world building that just doesn't really do that much. And like a lot of it's so cool. Like this stuff where you go to like the dark forest, like wizards are all born of darkness, so they all sort of exist in this kind of otherworldly, like chiaroscuro lighting. I thought that was really interesting. But there's just like, she has this cool world. She doesn't use it.
So that was my exact problem. The three largest problems I had in this book was, number one, there was no build up of affection for us towards things that we should have had affection towards. Like, for example, in this book, our Hal has a whole bunch of little magical artifacts, which are magical things that you can do things with. And I felt, especially considering our Sophie, aka Agnes, is super anti-magic. So the problem, and this kind of correlates with my second issue, which is that she never falls in love with the magic of things, which she does not have to, but she should if I'm going to fall in love with the main male character who is pure magic. And so the problem is as she does this, like she literally has a whole reason why she's engaging with all these magical things, and she never finds affection towards it. There are no little mini stories with people beside them. There's no little mini stories or little like character arcs with other characters that makes you think, oh, went on a little mini journey with these people, and so I feel a connection towards them, so I care what happens to them. None of that happens, and I wanted that with the cats too, which I got more of than with the magical artifacts, but I wanted that with the cats and the magical artifacts combined. Second issue is that Havelock, our main male character, does not feel like a real person. He does not feel like somebody she would actually fall in love with. It feels very forced. If anything, I felt like she would have fallen in love with this other character that comes up. And he's then specifically character terminated very easily by the author at one point, because you can tell that she wants our main character to be with our Hal character. And so it's very like orchestrated feeling. And then finally, my third issue is that the whole book is boring. Nothing happens.
It took me so long to get into this book. Like I had to restart it like 3 times because I was just like, what the fuck just happened? I wasn't paying attention. Like,
and it unfortunately, so it has this weird. So I will argue this should have been more slice of life. And it needed to be a slower pace, more slice of life to do what Katie was saying, that those kind of like mundane magic people cat interactions in a little bit more detail. And because like it has points where I literally there's this point where our one character kisses Mr. Havelock for the first time, and after I finished the book I was like, why did she do that again? Like something happened beforehand, and she was like, I have to kiss him. Oh my god!
It's because he did something for the cats
with the fleas. The cats had fleas.
I went back and I reread it to be like, why did that happen? And so this book has like almost like a memory spell on it, where you like
nothing about the characters rings true at all.
Yep.
Like she was like, you guys like Howl, right? Oh, here's something that looks a little bit like him. Put Howl's face on in your head, and she expects that to do all the work for her.
That they should fall in love. They gave me big sister,
her like a relationship with her dead husband like was far more.
Let me tell you,
oh my god,
it was so much better. That scene towards the end where she meets up with him on the street, I'm like,
and guys, just for context, this is her, like there's time travel involved, and so she goes into the past and she sees her dead husband because he passes away due to an illness, and in this brief, I gotta say, it's gotta be 1 to 2 page interaction, maybe 3 pages at most, maybe 4 at absolute most. I felt more emotion from this character, and I felt more natural chemistry between them in that moment. And I was just like, I want a story between them.
Yes, I'm like fuck Havel. And honestly, I almost wish it would have been like a brother-sister style relationship.
Where he helps her get him back.
Yeah, and not even that, but like
Not
helps her
necessarily.
Deal with
helps her, and that it's not necessarily because like again, romance wise, I'm like you are a step down from Robon, like
Right? That's the
he was
problem.
excellent. You're and so making it more like a like adjusting it from being a romance to being something that is a little bit
healing.
healing, and also helping him heal. Like he doesn't have he lost his relationship with his sister. Exactly. I'm telling you, this could have been so good if you just tweak the focus and you create a little bit more. There was a couple of ways I thought about, how could you fix this to make it work better? And one of the ways, I'll save it, but remind me when we get to this with Valerie and His Majesty, because
Valerie.
I have a way to.
You have to say the French way, otherwise I'm gonna flinch every time.
Valerie.
Between her and His Majesty, that like could give a much more satisfying emotional ending to the book that I think works so much better. Because
Also, side note. Oh, no, finish.
I was just going to say, because unfortunately, the end of the book happens, and I'm like, that was it?
That's it?
That's it. But this was so unsatisfying on an emotional level.
Just on a slight side note, I really, really hated the way Heather Fawcett did the whole switcheroo with His Majesty and how he suddenly, because 1 minute he's clawing the shit out of what is a villain in this book, and the next moment he's like, oh, let me just show you the secret way into the people who've loved me and taken care of me, and like, I'm just like, what is this cat? Like, I get that they're like fickle in nature, but they're not that fickle.
But see, that's why my idea, which is have Valerie's relationship with His Majesty.
You can call her Valerie. I'll get over it.
Thank you. Have that be what kind of turns her around, where like it's not just that spell, but that there's a point where he's in danger and she protects, like where that becomes foundational, that her learning to love something and protect it becomes foundational in the climax, and that like them realizing, and then you realize that, oh, her and His Majesty have actually developed in the like 2 weeks he's been gone. They've developed a whole relationship, and she actually feels for this Catito. And I was and like having that whole like, and I think that would be so much better on an emotional note. And like maybe she gets injured because of it, and like realizing that like. And again, it would bring the cats. Like, again, having more cats and having cats play a bigger role. There's not enough cats.
A cat perspective. Like, as Banshee walked, skulked through the series. Like, like, I thought, for just, like, 5 moments. But then, like, I remembered it was Heather Fawcett. And I was like, nah, she doesn't switch. She doesn't do, like, a big switch in perspectives, usually. I was like, how great would it have been if we had gotten, like, random cat perspectives at different points for a completely... Yeah, thank you.
Excellent.
That would have been so good.
Also, I wanted a couple of the cats to secretly be magical creatures. Me
too!
Okay, so I need to...
And not just the enchantments for, like,
not just... But, like, and unbeknownst, like, and you find out at the end. Like
that's what I thought His Majesty was going to be.
And I thought Banshee... I thought His Majesty and Banshee were going to turn out, and they were going to be these 2 magical creatures defending these 2 magical humans.
Yes.
And everybody was going to have to reckon with it. And, like...
Yes!
And that one of the other ones was secret... Like...
I thought like the cat that they found when they went back in time was gonna be like one of the earlier, and like I thought it was like I was like putting the pieces together, and it's just like nothing.
No, I thought Heather Fawcett for sure was gonna make, because the thing is, guys, we have this cat named Banshee, and as per that name, she constantly opens her jowl, like her not her jowl, shame, you can't open your jowls,
her jaw.
She opens her mouth to
Her maw.
her maw, if you will, to like chit-chat and stuff, and nothing comes out, and there's these several points where our magical howl dude, Havelock, he's like, God, she makes such a racket. And so I thought to myself, oh, he's hearing something magical on a magical plane. Her name is Banshee, so it's apropos. Maybe she has something going. Nope, guys, completely nothing.
Nope. it was so upsetting, and I thought it was going to connect to the whole like the magical artifacts leak things, and then the cats getting too close,
and
like
maybe cats just are really good at absorbing it, and they actually never lose it or something that.
And then also just some of them, like Banshee was secretly like a mythical creature thing, and like His Majesty was a dragon. Like
yes,
I was here for anything to give you guys, because the premise that Valerie did was fantastic. As far as like showing you the similarities, but like this is what if Howl's Moving Castle but a cat rescue instead of a hat shop, where our main character runs a cat rescue in Montreal, and she's down on her luck, and she needs to find a new location to live because of a magical mishap, and now she has to move into this like beautiful building, but the rent's so cheap. Why is it so cheap? And all the other people move out because ta-da, there's a magician living underneath it, and he's hacking bad news, and so you're just the entire time you're like, magic, cat rescue, magical cats. And the book is kind of like, it gives you like the aroma of magical cats, but the aroma but it gives you no substance of magical catos. And they're also like, the cats feel kind of like they're not like, but they also kind of feel,
what it all felt. Oh, go ahead, Val.
I was just gonna say it's like a LaCroix or something, like a fruit farted next to this. It's like a magical cat farted next to this story.
Yeah. No, I what I was gonna say was that the cats and the whole process with the cats, which is like the whole thing is our main character, Agnes, is like really big on spreadsheets, and she makes like all these checklists and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, you mean exactly like Emily Wilde, but as a cat, like shelter person and somebody who wants organization. And I, don't get me wrong, love that character concept of like somebody who likes order and stuff. You don't get a lot of that all the time, but in this, it didn't fit. And you know what? I looked up fan art at one point just to look at it, and it's really, there's only like 3 that are really cute. I mean, I love that
you always do that when we read a book.
I know. And I looked it up, and I was like, wow, I don't even feel it in these in these illustrations. I don't even feel the affection or the draw or the cuteness. Like, it's all, it looks like a mirror inversion of Howl's Moving Castle, but not as interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it doesn't work. We should probably get into the plot.
Yes.
Okay.
The long sigh.
Well, because like the thing is, Val was really correct. Nothing really happens, so it's I don't think it's gonna take that long.
No, it won't.
So
thank
boring.
God.
The first like 8 chapters, nothing fucking happens. Like literally, I was just like, did I miss something? Yeah. No, she's just walking around looking at apartments, and they're like, no, we don't want cats here. And she's like, oh darn. And where am I going to put my cats?
It took so long for me to get an idea of what kind of character she was supposed to be, versus Emily Wilde, where you were immediately entrenched in who Emily was. So this book opens with our main character, Agnes.
Why does everybody else have a French accent but her?
I don't know.
I thought for a second it was the narration.
They have Parisian accents and she doesn't. Parisian. That's why.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Everybody else has like a slight tang to their speech, and as soon as she speaks, it's like English, but kind of nice sounding.
So I mainly read this because I had the ebook and I was on a plane and my AirPods had died, and I mainly read this on the plane. So I did listen to it a little bit, but I didn't have as big of a like.
Yeah, she doesn't have a French accent like everybody else. Everybody else in the book has a Frenchish, Parisian, whatever you want to call it. Like there's like a So
I think they were probably just trying to differentiate her from the Parisian
I'm sure,
accent.
but it made me irritated because I was like, that doesn't match. But anyway, continue. Sorry. As Maria was saying.
Yes. And Agnes is looking at an apartment. And she's looking at an apartment because a few weeks ago, 2 magicians had a magical fight in the streets and blew a hole in her current rental where she had her cat rescue and where she lived. Literally, there was a wall, there's no wall there. And a couple other people in the streets got affected. And, magicians are a fucking nuisance, didn't you know?
They just have fun anywhere. It's very, it reminded me a lot of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them in the scenes that you at least see. I've never read, I know the book is just like a compendium or whatever, but at least I think. But the movie, you see these scenes where these wizards just come out of nowhere and do a whole bunch of havoc, and it's just like, oh, what happens to the normal people?
Yeah,
it's like the superhero conversation as well. Who's affected by all these destroyed buildings?
Yeah.
It's like that.
And so wizards don't have great reputations because they're out here causing havoc for the regular folks. And chief among them, the worst of the worst, is the Witch King Havelock Renard, who is he's so bad he caused an apocalypse. Also, Fawcett doesn't know what an apocalypse is. I'ma just say that. We'll touch on this later because let me tell you, dark sky and bad weather, not apocalypse B.
It kind of reminds
you
me
needed
of
at least a third of the population to die to call that shit an apocalypse.
Maria wanted more death.
What it reminded me of was mid-COVID. You guys wouldn't remember the specific, but it was mid-COVID in California. The day there were fires everywhere, and everyone woke up and the skies were dark orange. I woke up at noon and I thought it was 5 a.m. I looked at bright orange, horrifying. That's sort of the extent of the apocalypse vibes that this book gets.
It's like, what if there was the aesthetic of the apocalypse, but nobody actually died outside of if the power went out and you were using a machine kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so Fawcett, I don't think we know what an apocalypse it is, but anyway, he caused an apocalypse, but also it went away.
Maria.
It was 3 days.
It's got to have gone away, otherwise he wouldn't be forgivable.
Yeah. And it went away. And so he caused an apocalypse, but then somehow it stopped. But we hate him. We hate that. We hate that Witch King, Havelock Renard. But also, our main girl just doesn't like magicians in general. Because they blew up
and also there are rhymes and songs or whatever, or fairy tale bedtime stories about Havelock, and it's
it doesn't make sense because he's not that old. I don't think he's that old.
I actually found another plot hole, but I'll try to wait. Hold on a second. If you guys, everybody, even you audience, if I forget, just note that there is a plot hole, I think, having to do with not Enrique. I don't know why I want to call him Enrique.
Yannick.
But there's a plot hole with that later on, I think. But anyway, but yes.
So she's apartment hunting, and all the apartments suck. She has no budget because she runs a cat shelter, and donations are harsh because people don't give a shit about catitos. And so she has no budget, and all the apartments are shit. And she's like, oh, I'll accept this shit apartment. And the guy's like, oh, thank God, nobody wants this shit apartment. And then she's like, I run a cat shelter, and he was like, never mind, you and your stinky cats, get out of here. We don't need your money. I'm desperate for a tenant, but fuck you and your cats. And she's like, how will I ever find? And then she wanders the streets and she ends up on this one weird street. And she's like, whoa. And I hate that the narration tells this to us, but she's like, wow, I keep randomly ending up on this one street.
I know.
Real weird. And this isn't the only time it's going to be like, wow, so weird.
Strange.
It's almost like destiny has drawn her here for some reason.
While she's on the street, she's looking around, taking stock of the types of shops that are there. It's because it's described to us that a lot of these different neighborhoods have houses and apartments, but they also have little shops and stuff like that. And so she knows there's this little bakery someplace down the line, and then she knows that there's a little bookstore, and there's also a really expensive, I think, restaurant. There's two expensive restaurants that come up, but or bakery, or maybe it was the bakery. But the point is that she There is this bookstore, and there is this old woman in the bookstore, and I want you all to know, not you two, because you already know, I want you all to know, it is so very obviously set up that this old woman would befriend our main character. Does she, ladies?
No, or that anything would happen, that she would have some plot relevance. There's literally a couple, like an actual scene with the old woman that's going to happen later, and then you think like, oh, this is going to develop into something. Like it's so easy, especially because in the Emily Wilde, there were so many side characters that had significance,
it felt real and like interesting.
Exactly,
and these are just like paper cutouts of people like.
So yeah, she ends up on the street and she's like, oh, I'd really like a pastry from that nice bakery, but I don't have money, so I'm gonna go home and be sad. And she goes home. There's a hole in her wall. She's covered it, but winter's coming, so it's very cold. And you meet some of the Catitos. One is, his name is His Majesty, and he's this big old giant cat that
black and white
who just
he has like one white sock.
Yeah, and he kind of adopted them, like where he just showed up, and he really loved her husband Robin a lot, and it was kind of his cat. And then there's Banshee that Katie has described, who like, and also Banshee's also described as dumb as a bag of rocks. Like danger, she wants to be there. Things that are not.
She reminds me of Data.
Yeah, like shall I? Oh, that fireplace looks like a great place to sleep in. You know, like dumb as a bag of rocks. No sense of self-preservation. If something is dangerous, she's there.
And one of the things that's dangerous is His Majesty. He's very bullysome, and so but Banshee is like not bothered at all by it. So they have this like weird relationship where Banshee is allowed within his
because like, His Majesty wants to bully things that will react, and Banshee just looks at him like, hello, and he's like, I can't bully you, there's no fun in it, you're not upset about it. And so they have to keep something, but she's like, you know, she has all these cats and she can't stay here, it's getting cold. The whole reason she's has this cat shelter is because it's Montreal and it's freezing, and she likes to get as many cats before winter so that they don't freeze to death in the streets. Anyway, so she looks at another apartment, and her sister comes with her, and her sister Elise is
exactly like what's her face? What's her name in Howl's Moving Castle?
What is her
Isn't
name?
it like Elise?
Is it Sophie's sister?
Yeah, Sophie's sister. Who's pretty and personable and charming.
And that's her sister here. This is like also in the same vein. I kept thinking, wow, this is Howl's Moving Castle.
Her younger sister, just like
yeah.
It's as if they like. It's like, oh, what if Sophie and her sister had a great relationship, and that's what
Hattie.
I wanted to focus
yeah,
on.
you're right.
Hattie? No, what was it?
No, you're right, Hattie or something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, so her sister comes with her, and her sister's lying and pretending that they run a secretary typing shop. And then, but our girl, she can't do it. She can't sit with the lie. So she just is like, no, we won't take the apartment. And her sister's like, bitch, what are we going to do? Once again. Oh, and also this one guy was like, oh, if you're going to rent, there's a lot of bad landlords out there like that guy on this one street. We're just going to call it Street A for the sake of ease, because I'm not going to try. And also, I don't remember what it was called. Part of
it's a French name.
Part of how I remember stuff is in the audiobook. I just repeat it over and over as I listen to it. And since I read this with my eyeballs, like 90% of it, I don't have that. But he's like that. There's this one place on Street A, and they can't keep anyone in there for anything. So don't go there. And she's like, I couldn't afford it anyway. That's a nicer street than what I'm normally on. And so then she ends up back on the street, and she's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm here. I might as well just go see that other apartment, like that other just shop and see what it's about. And she can't find it at first. She's like, all of these look like actual shops. And she goes into that bookstore, and there's an old lady asleep in a chair, and she wakes up and she's like, oh, sorry about that. And then she's like, hey, I heard there was an apartment, like a place to rent here. And she's like, oh, you're looking for them? That's shit. Don't do, if you know what's up with that, then you suck. And if you don't, turn around, sis. Turn around. And she's like, I'll go. And the lady, basically, her name is Oksana. She says, go next door. It's the scarf shop. So she goes to the scarf shop, which says it's closed, but the door is open. And she goes in, and this like young guy comes out, and it's
Enrique.
Yannick. And is like, oh, hi, do you want something? And she's like, well, I'm here to inquire about renting. And he's like, oh, yes, please. Oh my gosh. And she thinks, because it's not like the nicest street. Like, it's not like the main street, but it's a street with nice shops.
It's a nice
lot of
cul-de-sac.
it's got good foot traffic, but it primarily caters to like a middle class, not an upper class level. And she's like, oh, I probably can't afford it. And he tells her a number that is like
absurdly low.
It's less than what she's currently paying. And she's like, oh shit. And she looks around, and this place is kind of grand. The upstairs apartments, damn nice. All the stuff. In fact, the one weird thing is there's like an oven in the middle of it, because there used to be a baker. And it
smells like it's still baking things.
Yeah. And she's like, you know what? Fuck it. I guess I kind of have to, like, I need a place. And she throws caution to a wind. And here's a couple of things we've learned about her so far. Agnes. She blushes easily. She cries easily. She does not love lying, and she's bad at it. Her sister is excellent. Elise can spin you a yarn. Agnes, no. Her bad at it. And she's very methodical. You know, like Val said and Katie said, she has her checklists for how she runs her everything. She has daily checklists, weekly checklists, and monthly checklists.
She'd love Excel.
She'd love Excel.
She'd love Excel.
Her books are excellent. At some point, somebody says something about her cooking her books, and she's like, "My books are unimpeachable, sir." And like, love that energy, but it doesn't come through. Like, unfortunately,
you know what? She doesn't actually feel like that kind of character, to be frank. I wanted somebody who was a spinster kind of thing, like a spinster feeling. There is a specific character I'm thinking of, and I can't think of where it's from, but I'm thinking of this woman, and she's like in Victorian high-necked stuff, and she's got glasses on, and she's not like traditionally attractive, and she's got her hair pulled back tight in a nice tight bun, and it's like from a movie or something. But whatever it is, I'm sure there's like a million characters like that, but the point is like, that's what I was picturing. I was picturing Mousy, which would have been appropriate. I pictured Mousy and like very by the book, which is true. That's what happens throughout the book. Yeah, whatever. And but the thing that doesn't really carry through is her kind of like, I don't know, like, it doesn't really feel real in some ways.
Right off the bat, like, the thing about Agnes is that, like, her internal world and kind of what we're told about her almost never really reflects her actions and what she does. Like so many times she'll just do something, and I'm like, okay, but, like, you're supposed to be a little mispractical and a little miscautious, and then you're like, she just does, like, you know, she kisses a guy out of nowhere, she does all this, and I'm just like, she's not a well-sketched character. Like, there's, like, she's a list of traits, and then it just doesn't work.
When we started the book, I thought she was going to be one of those kind of like very emotional, kind of squishy, a bit of a mess. Like, good heart, tries her best, will work hard, but is a bit of a mess. And like, Robin was the one who kept the books and all that stuff. And like, now I was expecting a bit more and this is just from how she reads in the beginning, is she reads like a character who does not have her shit together.
A little frazzled,
a little ADHD, you know, emotional.
That would have been a more interesting character in this setting.
Very sensitive to rejection and how she's perceived.
She needs to be Sophie, though, and Sophie being very practical, you know, the author's like, sorry, this is Howl's Moving Castle, everyone. This is the character.
And it's crazy because she writes her more how I've described, and then all of a sudden they were like, she loves a list and she's so organized, and I was like, motherfucker,
like,
where?
Does she?
I was like,
she physically does it. So any of you that have read the book or will read the book, she does those things, and so it's somewhat. I mean, look, it's not like totally not believable.
It tells us that she does those.
The problem is that she does do those things, and we see her do them, but it doesn't fit with the rest of her personality traits.
Exactly.
So I don't really believe it. I'm just told that this is her personality, and that she likes to make lists, and that she gets it done.
Super practical, organized. I have my list for my like monthly things that I need to do and my yearly looking back and everything. That girl would have been going up to places being like, I run a cat shelter. This is what I need. Da da da. Oh, that doesn't work for you.
Thank you.
Good day. And like just like rallying. This girl is like, what do I do? I gotta get the cats.
I actually really would have preferred.
I get that she's desperate and like a winter is coming. She needs literally a roof over her head. Like,
but no, like I actually like. that's what I was thinking after the first 2 places that she went through. I was like, why aren't you just saying this up front based on, like, literally the very first scene? I thought to myself, why didn't you say that up front? Like, that seems like a waste of your time because you're gonna say it because you're honest. And so because you're honest, you're gonna say it at some point. So stop putting it off. And if you're so practical, then you're gonna say it first and foremost to try to get rid of the people that are not gonna accept you. And it just, I think that would have fit much better with Havelock, because then she would have just like blustered by all of it. That's the whole point of Sophie. She blusters by all of his theatrics, whereas she is somewhat theatrical in some ways.
Yep.
When I tell you these first 8 chapters are so boring, I know they're the first 8 chapters, again, because I had to read them like 3 times because I kept spacing out. Like, I legitimately like could not stay focused. It's just like so boring, like 70 pages of just like nothing. And then finally, like, sort of a catalyst happens and like Valerie shows up.
Yeah.
Pew, pew, pew.
100%. So she's like, I'll take it. And then immediately she's like, oh my God, what if this is secretly, because like the reaction
Like, she
from the
stops,
old
like-
lady, she was like, what if this was like secretly like used to be like a magic artifact store and that's why that old lady reacted that way? And what if I just like accepted Elise for like a weird ass place? And she's like, oh. So then she tells her sister and Elise comes and Elise is like, I don't care what this used to be. We are on board. This is the answer to our prayers. We're fucking doing this. Done.
See, I would have expected from Agnes at that point, if she was like, yes, we'll take it, then she should have already been thinking, all right, what magicians can I go to in the city to get anti-haunting?
Yeah.
Like artifacts and stuff like that. Because she thinks it's like maybe it's haunted or something.
Yeah,
But that's what I would think the practical. And that's why her bias towards magic doesn't fit with her, because she's practical. And if she's supposed to be practical, that means we don't have room for that bias.
And also the bias feels so paper thin.
Tacked on.
Because
tacked
there's
on.
so many points.
She even says there's no reason.
But also
It's literally just to make her skeptical about our boy
because
at
at
the
so
beginning.
many points
like,
she's like, like when I tell you this girl goes from like, when she finds out everything that's happening, she's like, head first. Boop, boop, head first, baby. And she makes up the dumbest, for wanting to distance herself from the rumors about stuff. She makes a rumor that like makes everything worse, and she did it on purpose, and we'll get there.
yeah, it's a little later, but I was like, why
Why
is she doing this? This is so unlike her, like,
So,
or it should be.
Elise is like, yes, we're doing this. They start getting everything ready. They do. The first week is actually pretty good. The drapes, because earlier the curtains had kind of like, they'd been closed and then they opened themselves, and she thought, she was like, did somebody else do that? We're like, what the fuck? And she was like, is this place haunted? As Katie said. But anyway, they move in. They get everything settled. Also, can I tell you, moving during a point where you don't have a car or a truck or a cart, having to move cats. I'm just imagining these 2 ladies, like they did end up putting a
hauling cages.
Yes!
And there were 45 cats or something like that.
Oh my god!
And I'm just like, how the fuck does this across town, babes? No way, it couldn't be me.
Too bad they don't have more friends. They could have had actual people.
Yeah. Anyway, so
they were supposed to have volunteers too, so really it should have been like all the volunteers, or like, I don't know. Also, just like, she hired a moving company, but the moving company only moved so much, and I'm like, why wouldn't you just
one cart full? Like they
and I was like, why wouldn't you hire them to take all the cats?
Yeah, it was just bizarre. But anyway, so they move in, and the first week is actually pretty good, and they do well in the location. Immediately some people stop by to kind of see some stuff, and then one of them is a copper. His name is Laurent, and he's he's just looking at stuff, and he was like, you know anything about your landlord? And she's like, no, I've never even met him. I've just been dealing with this one guy, and you want a cat? And he's kind of like
enamored with one of the cats,
and she's like, do you want? And he's like, no, I can't have a cat. I'm too busy. I'm a detective. And she's like, oh, a detective. And you can tell that he's like kind of into our girl Agnes. And then so everything's fine for week 1, but then at the end of week 1, she begins to realize that like there's something weird. So first off, people
show up and go into the basement, don't come back out.
God, these ladies brought up way more obvious things. At one point, she's like, wow, the pipes keep jingling when I'm not using them.
Yeah.
And not jingling, that's not the right word,
Making
but rattling.
Noises. Yeah.
And then like the lady said, like then there are these like people who seem like paintings. Like, that's how magic users are described here. They seem like paintings, like they absorb all the light.
The chiaroscuro thing, the dramatic lighting on their faces.
Yeah, and they keep coming through. And I got so... First of all, if I were Agnes, and if somebody came into my shop like they owned it and went into my back room, I would literally scream at them. And I would get so angry. And I'd be like, get the fuck out of my shop.
And I would have
like,
gone to Unique immediately and been like, who the fuck are these people?
And she doesn't do any of that. And I'm
she
irritated
lived
by
here
that.
too, right? These people are hypothetically still in that. I would be like, get out of my fucking house, man.
They just keep going into her basement, and then they never, very few of them come out the front door, so she's like, they must be using the back door. For why, my dude? Did you rent this space or not?
This is a literal nightmare that I have where people come into my house and don't leave.
Frogging!
It's like Beau is Afraid. Have you seen Beau is Afraid?
No.
Never watch it,
like
Maria. You'll fucking hate it.
I will never watch it.
I've heard of it.
I was forced to watch it in the VA hospital while my husband got his endoscope. What's it called? The and the
endoscopy and colonoscopy.
Yeah. And I was sitting, and somebody, whoever's job it was, to put on a movie on the TV screen, put Beau is Afraid. There's not only genitalia and nudity in it, but there's a shit ton of mental illness in that movie. And I had to sit there, and I just kept, like, my attention kept getting drawn. And everybody in the entire, like...
Was it like a waiting room?
Yeah, and it's a little waiting room full of people. And all the people are like, why do they have this on? And the other person's like, this is giving me a PTSD. And I'm like, why would they have this in a VA hospital? Oh my God.
That's so funny.
Anyway.
Anyway.
So she's like, somebody's in here. Like, what the fuck? And she's like, she's heard stuff. Like, it's just a little weird. But our girl, Agnes, doesn't like to rock the boat. Okay? She's practical, but like, not when it comes to like somebody potentially living.
She's meek like a mouse, kind of like another character we know.
Yeah. So, but then one day she hears
look at that
someone...
fucking tail. Wait, do you see that?
Yeah, I got a cat on my.
Look at that thing. You can even see his. Oh, I thought that was his face for a second. I got freaked out. Look at his missing hair.
Yeah.
Oh,
bald boy. But yeah, she hears someone downstairs one day, and she's like, the fuck? It's the middle of the night. So she goes down and she's like, excuse me, and there's a lady there, a very beautiful lady, and the lady's like, oh, a cat shop moved in here. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing in here? And she's like, he thought this would work. What a
tacky little cat shop.
Exactly.
You have.
Vibes. And she's like, and then she just starts, she's like being, where's Havelock? And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't, like, Bernard, like, which kid? He's not here. And she's like, I'll have
like
to...
the evil dark wizard?
Yeah,
and you're looking for him in my house?
And the pretty lady's like, well, I guess I'll have to bring him out. And she just starts tearing the building apart. Just like...
Yeah, it like starts full earthquake, like the walls are tearing and things like that. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I get so angry during this scene, guys. I just want to premise with, because like when Havelock comes out and the whole thing goes down, I'm just like, I'm sorry. There is this innocent woman down, like right here with all of her cats who could be killed, or they're very sensitive creatures. Like they can be like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? And not just that. And our girl is like worried about this. Agnes is like, oh my God, my catitos. So she releases a couple of them to be like, run, my guys, don't get to the buildings collapsing upon us. And then the basement door flies open, and out comes this shadow specter panther thing that's like blah, 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 and it like smacks into the lady, and she goes down, and then all of a sudden a man's there, and he's in his pajamas.
Come closer to your mic.
Striped pajamas.
Yeah, he's in his blue,
jangling with jewelry,
covered in jewels, and he's got messy black hair, and he's just...
He looks like all of his features have been taken from different faces, but he's so
But they're all nice. They were all nice faces that they came from, not ugly faces. No, it's like 5 ugly faces, or 5 pretty faces smushed together.
And not just that, but he comes from behind the shadow as if he were within the core of it.
Yeah.
And so at first I was like, okay, is this the owl / bird thing that Hal turns into? Yeah. This version of it. And guess what, guys? It is.
It is. And so he's like, what the fuck are you doing here, Val? Like, what the fuck's up? Yeah, Valerie, get it
Sorry.
together. Stop putting cats' lives
Sorry,
in danger.
I just like to cause chaos, everyone.
Valerie.
And he's like, what are you doing here? Like, what is happening? And she's like, I want the book. And he's like, I don't fucking have. And our girl Agnes is just there watching these
She's
two
like,
that she realizes are siblings fight, and they're like dueling, and to duel they have to they take a ring and then they throw it at each other, or the ring unlocks so like evidently all the crazy amounts of jewelry and shit that they're wearing does specific things, and each contains a spell.
And can I say that's actually kind of interesting world building? I like, because it's later described like, sometimes after, if a wizard's been fighting for a while, he's run out of all the good spells, so he has to use stupid ones and figure out how to do it. Like, it's kind of interesting.
I love
it's
it.
a cool idea. It's just we don't get enough of
Yes.
it for it to actually,
we absolutely
be
don't.
enticing.
The amount of magic in this is woefully smaller than it should be. And I'm talking even just practical magic, woefully underutilized. But anyway, so this whole thing is happening, and he ends up like getting Valerie out, throwing her out, and he's like, quick, we've gotta move the shop. And she's like, no, we can't. And
I gotta
also,
go get my cats.
the first thing that happens when he comes out and it's him, and he's like,
Agnes, it's you.
Agnes, it's you. And she's like, oh, Yannick must have told him who I was, and now he's sitting there being like,
even I don't buy that.
Yeah.
Like, as
no,
I'm
I was
reading
uncomfortable when he said. I was like, "Are you good?" Like, that's a little intimate.
has this guy been spying on? Like, what are we doing?
Well, not just that, but also, I'm sorry, how did you not, like, I mean, I guess I get that. So the whole thing is again, at this point, we don't really know that they're siblings. We're going to know that soon. But the point is that it makes sense. There's a big enemy. She's throwing a lot of, like, big things at him. He's going to be taken up by it and everything. But it's pretty crazy to me that, because at one point, Agnes starts screaming, and I think that's when he notices her and everything, and he's just like, Agnes, your hair. But his regard for things, and I guess, like, that's supposed to go with his character, but really it seems more negligent and dumb. We're
gonna learn more about the scene later. Like, the scene is gonna come up again later with new context.
It's very frustrating as a reader to read this, especially after however many chapters of her setting up this shop and finally finding it, and then somebody just comes in and tears it apart, and nobody says what's for like that whole process. And it's very frustrating for me personally. Like, she doesn't stand up for herself. She doesn't, like, say, hey, stop, this is my shop, or something like that. And I would have liked that. I hate that she's a backseat passenger.
Like,
in this
she
moment.
just watched her previous place get blown up by wizards, and now she's watching her new place get blown up by wizards, and it just makes her seem like a very... I mean, I understand her being like, there's what can she do? What can she do? She doesn't have magic. But, like, it just makes her feel very, like, passive and, like, uninteresting as the main character.
Throw something. Let me tell you, if something was happening to my cats, I would throw the register at this bitch. Like, whatever I needed to.
The register,
yeah. Let me.
It's noted, by the way, guys. It's noted that the register is
like an angry, like, mom, like, it was like, you bullied my fucking kids. Get out of here!
Fuck out. Let me tell you, at multiple points, I was like, she is not angry enough about the shit that's happening to her cats.
Thank you.
But anyway, so once he, like, throws Valerie out, and he's like, we need to move this shop, and she's like, what do you mean move this? And she was like, wait, 2 of the cats ran out, I need to go get them so that, like, we can't leave them. And he's like, no.
He's like, no, you crazy bitch, Valerie is out there, she's gonna fuck you up.
And so she's like, okay, and she pretends she's not gonna run out, and then she runs out, and he's like, oh fuck. And she goes, she grabs the 2 catitos, she runs back in,
which... Did you hear my intake of breath?
Yeah.
Which at first I was very disbelieving of. I was like, how can she possibly find these cats so short? But then I remembered later on, I was like, most cats that run out of the house stay around the house.
Yes.
Thereafter.
And
so
they're
I was like,
quick to want to get her back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so she jumps back in, and then he moves the house. And guys, would you believe it? It's described very similarly to another book we've read / movie we watched,
where a house gets moved to another location, and basically, and the space on the inside looks exactly the same, but it's just been kind of stretched.
The shop front is in a different place.
It's in a and she looks outside, and they're on, like, the fancy main street, like the street for the rich people. Like, they're in between a bank and, like, a restaurant that is always booked out. Like, fancy pants place. And so the moving of the shop made noise, and so some cops are outside like, the fuck is happening? And she has to answer it and be like, hello, and it's Laurent, who's like, what the fuck? And she's like, I opened a second shop.
And you quickly get the vibes that like the cops sort of know that there's a wizard here. They're like, this is a mafia place. Like the mafia is downstairs, and we know they're down there. We don't have the warrants to get them or do anything about it, but like the implications are there that the cops know about this.
More importantly, the best character in the story is introduced, which I didn't get any of, which is this butch-ass woman that comes with Laurent. And she comes in, and she's like, big shoulder, and she's like, ugh, cop woman vibe. And she's like, oh, I love
Muscle
this
mommy.
old cat, Thoreau. And
Yes,
I
thought
love...
she was going to come back and adopt
I thought
Thoreau.
she was gonna be a character that came up. I thought she was Laurent's like partner, because why else? Why would she be with him? And or like an associate of some sort that he's asked to help with. And I thought she was gonna be a legit character, a butch ass, awesome fucking character. And do we ever get another scene with her, ladies?
No.
Oh my god, this book is so frustrating because it should be the kind of like cozy town fantasy where you slowly gather like beloved community members.
It should be
nods at that,
what's that
but
game?
it doesn't do it.
What's the game everybody played during COVID that I didn't play?
Oh, Animal Crossing.
It should have been
New
like
Horizons.
the Animal Crossing like type vibes where you're building
My husband and I
this
played it too.
community, gathering
I
all
put
these
more than
people.
1,000 hours in that game.
I put only
Nintendo
about
could not keep
500 to
track of the
800.
amount of hours that I put into that game.
I didn't put that much.
That's the vibes that this should have been. And so all of these little characters should have been fleshed out, and it should have had like they should have come back at multiple points and been like the like
And they were cool character outlines.
Yep.
The sketch of them was really interesting. They felt like oh, this could be a cool community, kind of like what we got in the first Emily Wilde book when they went to like Fantasy Iceland or wherever.
The first Emily Wilde book did such a good job of making this village of people feel real, fleshed out, and the characters had purpose in the interactions and stuff like that. Because again, she runs a cat shelter, and you're like, half the thing of watching something or reading something that has a cat shelter is the bonds developing between the people that want the catitos and the catitos themselves. And there's only a couple of points with that, but like seeing the bond. So I thought if it had taken like the whole book for Thoreau to get adopted, and like it was that lady, and there was a couple points where he almost got adopted, and she was like, "Oh no," like, and you were like, "No, that's what's
it's a butch woman."
Yeah, exactly.
Is this the cat that she eventually just decides to keep?
Yes, and that was so dumb. And the thing is,
unsatisfying end for that cat, quite frankly.
And I had my own little fan fiction in my head just that bloomed from that moment, and I just thought to myself, oh my gosh, I'm so excited I genuinely said this to myself. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so excited for this character. Because I thought I dreamed in my brain that at one point Laurent was going to be too stretched thin because of all Valerie's accomplices, and like he was going to be off and about like later on as we get through the book, and it's like, oh, there's like lots of craziness going on, which we haven't said yet. But the point is I was like, oh, I wonder if Butch Lady, because we don't get a name, I don't think. No. I wonder if Butch Lady is going to be stationed at her cat shelter, and then I wonder if she's gonna be like learn about Havelock, and then be like, no, I ship Havelock and Agnes, not you and her, because you're too much of a stick in the mud for Agnes, and Agnes is great, and like the whole like I thought we were gonna have something like that. You can tell I watched too much anime.
It's a perfect example of this author like setting up cool things that just really don't pan out in any way. It's so funny that we all clung to that moment of that lady with Thoreau being like, I wonder if that's gonna.
It seemed no, but the thing is Heather Fawcett framed that scene, and this is where when you said earlier, this seems like a second draft, where I was like, huh. And I didn't think specifically like that, but I was like, yeah. Because, like, where is that? Again, her, Oksana, the book seller next door, we're going to get a couple more scenes with her. And it's like, the thing is I hate that William keeps, like, touting that this is, like, the end, like, he's super cool and that he has all these really cool quotes. But he does have really cool quotes. And one of them is, a clock doesn't have gears it doesn't need. And so why do we have These
This book has
scenes,
so many gears it doesn't need.
yes,
And like, what are we doing here? I don't know what the author wanted to do. There's so many unnecessary gears.
Yes.
Like, I don't know what this machine is supposed to do because you have so many unnecessary gears.
And the worst part is at the end of the book, the community is going to rally together to help them.
Oh, God.
And it doesn't work because who the fuck are these people?
Who's the community?
Who's the community? So they throw the cops off by being like, actually, we're so busy, we opened a second location, and this is our second location. And now she's like, oh shit, I have to legitimately have 2 locations now. And so she goes into like, how do I make that work gear? She gets her sister and immediately tells her sister about everything. And her sister's like, oh, fuck. Because, like, not just does Havelock Renard live underneath, he runs an artifact shop where he sells magical artifacts. Super illegal, by the way. Super. It is really like the mafia being downstairs doing drug trade underneath your shop. And our girl's like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't want to be involved with all of that stuff, but I like my situation and the cats are set up here and we're gonna ride with this.
Miss Maria,
yeah,
I would like to also say something that upset me. Later on in the book, we're told by somebody that there are a couple of clients and a couple of people that just like have a thing for Havelock, and they keep coming by.
I think it's so sexy and so pretty and so handsome.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is where's the foreshadowing for this in these visits we get a lot of examples for?
We get no examples.
We're told
of anyone
that people are charmed by him and find him pretty, but also, like, unlike Howell, this guy doesn't have a lot of, like, he doesn't actually have a lot of, again, just
he's
like
boring.
Agnes, he's boring, and like what we're told about him doesn't really align with the way he acts and the way people respond to him, because he was kind of a loner and a loser, and he came into magic later in life. He's really strong now, but he was nothing as a kid. He just read a lot of books and was nerdy.
He's not charming. He's a loner. You know, he gives me the vibes of that guy.
Sherlock?
No. In The Magician and Uprooted. The dragon who lives at the top of the
Sarkis?
Sarkis. Sarkin. Where it's that vibes, where he's just this weird loner guy who's got his own habits and he's just kind of like, and he likes to tinker and he doesn't want to deal with other people.
It seems like he should be off-putting to other people, not charming.
Yes. And you should, at first, you should be like, wow, he's attractive. And then immediately like, I hate him and I never want to speak to him.
The charisma levels are so low that it offsets it.
He rolled
the charisma level.
a nat 1, baby.
Some people are really hot, but then the minute they start speaking, you're like, oh, no, and like, I'm sorry.
But he shouldn't even be hot because she specifically says, just like, what's his name? Ronald or whatever? Her husband.
Robin.
That's how.
Robin.
I'm sorry. I'm just going based off hearing.
It is.
It's spelled Robin. She's really into awkward looking dudes. She likes awkward looking dudes. That's what she says.
Attractive.
And so theoretically, he should not be lusted after, not physically anyway, but maybe for his power. But that's not the same.
Yeah, that's very different.
Also, I would have liked an example of this. I would have liked her running into somebody instead of being told it. There's so much telling, not showing.
Unfortunately, a lot of this book is told in summary because there's like kind of nothing happens, but also the stuff that happens isn't like the right stuff that should happen. There should be so many scenes of her working the counter, people coming in, and her.
That's what we did, and we got. What did we get instead? Like almost nothing. It was just weird scenes that do kind of exposition for stuff that's never really going to become relevant. And some of there's a smattering of relevant stuff. But
there should be points where people come in
of space,
and she's like, he was like, and especially once she knows that what's happening and where she's monitoring, and she's like, she began to think of these certain types as magic diggers, that like a gold digger but for magic, where like they were obviously here to try their wiles but it wasn't working and they always left disappointed.
I hated that. That was like I don't like that people found him
also
attractive.
Who's telling
I don't like
all these people where he lives if he doesn't want to sell to them?
Yeah, that's the other thing, because he's kind of in hiding.
Yeah,
right.
Again, also, what about our girl Agnes? Does not like magic. She's actually quite anti-magician. There are other characters who are a bit more neutral on it, and she's like, wow, I can't believe they're that neutral on such a
Like,
thing.
there even comes a point where Havelock is like, did somebody, like, die because of magic? She's like, no, I just hate it.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
she's
what?
like, I just think it's really disrespectful, and y'all, you know, just because you're special and you're born that way, you guys get to fuck shit up for the rest of us. But this girl immediately is like, we're just staying, instead of being like, okay, I need to figure out how to move my cats, and then having him be like, no, you can't. Put him up. You know, because like that, I would have been okay with if she was like, nope, we have to pack up. She's literally packing up, and then her and Elise and Havelock are like, wait. Let's figure this out, because
That makes so much more sense.
Yeah,
and that's
like
what I was expecting.
like a mutually assured destruction here. We can like, you know, like let's help you, help me, I help you.
It's supposed to be a growth moment. I can tell from Heather Fawcett. I don't feel comfortable saying Miss Fawcett, whatever. But anyway, you can tell it's like supposed to be like a growing point or like a reveal of true self point, because Elise comes in and she's like, what are you doing? Why are you? Because the thing is like, you know, after this happens and everything, what ends up happening is there's this like in the new location, while she's in the new location for the cat shelter where they got transferred, she's very worried. I'm just summarizing this real quick. And she and Elise run all the way back to the original location, and they're like, oh, what happened to the original location? The cops are going to expect us to be in both locations. What's up with this one? And they open the door, and it's like gray mist of nothingness. And I'm going to jump over a little bit just to like make my point. But the point is like, Elise is like, oh my goodness, no, this is no good, blah, 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 blah. And then long story short, there's like this rumor spreading around. We'll get to it in a second. But there's this rumor spreading around about enchanted cats and stuff like that. And instead of at least being like, yes, let's market off of this, it's because she's okay with lying, and she's okay with making up a story, and she's okay with all of this stuff. Instead of that, we have Agnes doing it.
Yep.
And it seems very out of character.
And it doesn't make sense. Like, all she wants to do is live a quiet life and take care of her cats, and she's like, let's make a big deal out of this.
Yes, and she's like suddenly out of nowhere, she's like, because she's like, man, the cops are going to be looking. No wonder they've been poking around and coming in and talking to us and asking us about our landlord. It's the fucking Witch King. She's like, we gotta stay under the radar. We gotta keep cool beans. You just, everybody's got to not know what's happening here. And she's like, you know what would help?
Spreading rumors about enchanted cats.
Because as if that's going to help keep attention off of the wizard in your basement.
Yeah.
As if that's going to be like, oh no, there's no wizard here, guys. We just sell enchanted cats.
The book tries to justify it being like, if there's a lot of foot traffic, then it'll hide the people coming to look for. No, bitch! No! Tell him to build an Elise thought. Door.
That's an Elise thought. Yeah. That's an Elise thought, not an Agnes thought.
But all of this, having Elise go to Havelock and be like, so you need us as your front. And so we want this, and this of your help, and we won't leave. And Agnes should be actively trying to get the fuck out of there, given everything
that would be very funny, actually.
We've seen of her. And Elise like strikes this deal, and then you know is like, we should you know, advertise this thing if people think, because basically what happened is somebody adopted a cat and then they slept really well afterwards, and they were like,
oh,
wow,
it helped my insomnia. And people like, oh, they
and it was like a really rich dude.
Yeah,
it was like, it was a really rich dude
because newspapers.
Yeah, the thing is like the new location that they're in used to be a jeweler's, and it's in between, like Maria said, a very expensive
marble
place
floor,
and the bank.
Cages are on top of like old jewelry cases. Yeah.
Yeah, and so a rich dude comes in because he's like, oh, like, I mean, I also would.
Immediately,
like in a rich
cat?
Yeah, cats.
I'm in.
I mean, also.
I'm sold.
But also that makes way more sense because people that have disposable income are going to have a lot more money for cats and a pet or something like that than as opposed to where she was previously, I suppose, or before that. And so this guy really likes her, likes the experience. And so he writes, and she knows nothing about who he is. And as a practical woman, she probably would. Or maybe not. And so she, I'm trying to make allowances. But anyway, she, you know, she sells a cat to him and he goes home and, like Maria said, it's a good experience. And so from there, that's where the rumor starts.
But then she starts
and
courting
she
it.
Specifically chooses to be like, can you do this? We enchant more cats, just a couple of them, so we can keep spreading this rumor. And I'm like, none of this makes sense to what we've been told about her character so far.
And also,
she should be like you were saying, Maria. It should have been Elise's idea to do this. She should have been like, no, I think we can sell cats like the old way. We don't want to draw attention to ourselves. We're in deep shit with this wizard stuff. Like, it doesn't make sense.
And also, Havelock should be like, no, the whole point is people shouldn't know there's any magic going on here. Why would I magic? Also, Havelock hates cats. I'm just gonna drop this here again. Very little actual cat hate. He has allergies, and they're flea bags.
His allergy. It very much gives that like scene in Howl's Moving Castle in the book when he gets the sniffles real bad, and he's like every time he's around a cat, he's like, achoo, ow, I'm so itchy, my eyeballs.
Yeah.
Like
Gabriel, the husband of Elise. I actually, you know what would have been more fun, because he seemed like a cool character. He was apparently a weightlifter in the old days.
We don't get enough of that.
No, he sounds cool as fuck.
And also, he's very cutthroat, and I love it.
Yeah.
I'm like Elise. Girl.
Yeah, and this guy is also running for like political position, a governor. Okay, and so there's that's why Elise doesn't want him connected to things. But how cool would it have been as a character in general for Gabrielle to come up to the place and be like, I'm here with my wife, Elise, and we have a business proposal for you. And for them to, as a united front, after initially Havelock says no or something, to be like, I will protect you so long as you do these things. And the thing is he's coming up for re-election, so he doesn't want to be associated, or it's not him, it's more like Elise. But the whole thing is they don't want any scandal. It's because they want him to be re-elected. But because of all the good news and not good news, the good gossip and stuff surrounding the cats, it actually probably would have been positive. So how cool would it have been for them at least to think, oh, this is a good business, because Elise seems like this kind of character where she's like, oh, this is a good business proposition where we can get Gabrielle to like have more positive thing to support a magical cat thing that everybody loves.
Yeah, he could even just donate and be like, I love cats, everyone. Donate to the cat shelter and then give them legitimacy.
Missed opportunity with the characters that she set up. Like, she set up all these interesting characters and was just like, okay, they're off screen now. Shoo.
Yes. Okay, get out of here. We hate you. But yeah, so they have to set up a second one. Like Katie said, it's basically empty inside, and then he eventually moves it back. Like, he moves the cat shelter from the new location to the old one, so the old one is no longer a void space when you open the door, and now the new one looks like that fancy ass bank. And so they buy a bunch of things.
So now they have two locations.
Yeah, they have two locations, and they need to get both up and running. So they're now running out of cats. They need to be calling cats in. They're sending volunteers to go find cats. And she also is like, they have one volunteer who they've had for a long time who they like a lot, Mina. And she's like, Mina, you're getting a wage. Havelock's paying you, you know? And again, this should have been something like where a deal was worked out, where Elise was like, we'll stay, we'll cover your ass, but we want this, like, and like bargain struck. But,
and then also should have been a contract, and then the contract could have come back up later in like a magical way, and then it would have been fun to like get around that.
It also could have been a cute thing where, like, you know, should any of these things happen, the contract is void, and then those things happen, and he's like, well, I guess the contract's voided, and you gotta, you know, go. And she's like,
fuck the contract,
maybe not,
not.
You know, just
can I also just say at this point, we're also told, like, maybe not right now, but over the course of the story, that Mina, the volunteer who was working the other shop, she used to steal a lot of money. She has student loan debts or something. She stole money from the cat shelter before, and Elise is like, are you sure you want to put her in charge? And this is basically just used to make our main character Agnes look good, because Agnes is like, no, she's barely stolen anything since there, and she's like, since then, and I'm like, it's just this fact means almost nothing. Like I'm just like, okay, so she's kind to people who are in need of money. I don't know. It's
supposed to be.
It was a weird detail.
Yes, it's supposed to be this idea that Agnes lets people take advantage of her, and she would rather let a few bad apples take advantage of her than not do the right thing for the good apples.
The prose tells you this at some point.
But it doesn't straight actually up. Like, again, it also just doesn't fit in with like all the other stuff we've seen of Agnes, who also, because let me tell you, this starts the era of her talking shit to Havelock and being like, get your fuck. So
she's like,
she's
what all quippy with him.
Yeah, she's like, what if I go in, because his sister seemed real certain that he had that artifact she wants, and she's gonna come back once she finds us. So maybe I'll just find the artifact and give it to her. And he tells her that this artifact is an artifact that will let someone go back in time, and she'll go back in time, so that there used to be this
Library of Alexandria, basically.
Yes, for this magician lady.
A bunch of enchantments written by basically one wizard.
The most powerful magician ever.
Alice Vortigern.
Yeah. And she was the best of the best. And she had the juiciest, like, she could do some crazy ass shit, like, and stuff that nobody actually wants to happen. But Valerie wants it. She wants it real bad. She wants to do some crazy fucked up shit. And so if she gets the time travel spell, then she'll be able to go back before Vortigern's library was burnt down, get all those spells, and do crazy fucked up shit.
And during this period of time, also, this is where we're revealed that Valerie is basically, she is Havelock's sister, not just sister, twin sister. So they have like
came into her magic, but way before he did. But she's worse at magic than he is now, because apparently the later in life you get your magic, there's a correlation there with how you're stronger if you come into it later in life or something.
Like interest. It's like interest. He didn't tap his interest until later, so he had more at the end of it.
And so he doesn't get his till 18, but he was a very sickly child. It actually reminds me a lot of Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein, like the idea of him being a sickly child and his mother loving him. And then as he gets older, his father is like absent or mean to him or whatever it is. But the point is like he was a sickly, lonely child. Valerie was like the only person that like was with him and like protected him and like took care of him. And then also you learn that during this time, at one point Agnes is like, you didn't actually try to end the world, did you? And I'm like, when that happens. But anyway, and she's like, or he says no, and then long story short, she yanks it out of him.
His threat as like a dark evil mage is like tamped out so fast,
so quick. There's
like,
no
we
moment
are
where you're
never like, we're never like, oh, is he actually scary? Like, he's a good guy.
Basically, when he was a young little Babito magician, he was like, I wondered if I could make an apocalypse spell, and then he did it, and then he was like, wow, I could do it. That's great. And then his sister found the apocalypse spell and was like, I'm going to use it.
To make sure. No, she's like, I'm going to use it because I want everybody else to think I'm super, super powerful because I'm really jealous of my, I was about to say husband. It's not that kind of book.
My super talented twin brother. Yeah.
Yeah. And so she goes to use it and lo and behold, whoa, it's way more powerful than she expected. And end of world.
Except not end of world, just bad weather and no sun. And electricity has stopped working, but like everybody, if you just stayed inside your house for these 3 days, you were fine. Like, it was fine. Yeah, we're not talking fires, burning it. Like, I hate this apocalypse. It's the worst apocalypse that I've ever apocalypse.
It's real weird. It's kind of implied that something would happen if something wasn't stopped.
But you know what I would have liked instead? There's this one, the thing is I don't like OP stuff in these things because then you have to ask yourself the relativity of the other things that are happening. And so at one point he says, oh my gosh, be careful with this, not antique, shame, artifact. He's like, be careful with this artifact. It can literally bore a hole into the core of the planet. I'm like, is that not apocalyptic enough, first of all? And I'm like, also, like, if that was apocalyptic, then why did it make your spell so, like, special? And then in addition to all of that, it's like, and I think it was like a music box or something that she was, like, trying to catalog at some point, which we'll get to in a moment. But also in adjacent to all that, like, if we were to receive an apocalypse, how much, and again, this is a world that is not our own. It is an Avengers world, you know, like it is a world that has things in it that we don't have, but it's very similar to our world. And so why not just really lean into that? And because of his apocalypse, why not a continent go missing? Or why not like something like that?
There should have been any reaction to this.
Can, like, back to what you were saying, Katie, and what you were saying earlier, Maria, just about the vibes of this apocalypse. And, like, before when I compared it to COVID, it's kind of like that in that everyone was inside and, oh, that's so scary. But it's less scary than that because there's no, like, actual pandemic happening.
We didn't hear
People are just inside because it's dark.
We're never
and
told
spooky.
like a third of the population died, and now everybody just has to live with the fact that like the snap in Avengers.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
we got no fucking effects. It's bizarre, and I hate it. It's the worst apocalypse.
It's like COVID without the pandemic. Like that's it. Like
so it actually would have been way more interesting if we had something like the snap where loved ones and like just
if
people
something happened,
disappeared.
Yeah, and to undo it, they came back like because that makes that at least then there was actually negative effects happening that were then undone. But anyway, before we even find out about this, again, our girl decides I'm going to find the art. If Valerie thought that he had it, he probably doesn't. Also, because she went into his underneath space, and it's just 3 floors of chaos, magical artifact chaos. Nothing is organized.
Sloppy bitch, our boy.
Hoarding
Of magical artifacts, uncatalogued.
Perhaps picture Howell's bedroom.
Yeah,
in,
a horror of
Howell's
hoarding.
Exactly. And she's like,
yeah, that's literally what it is. Actually, yeah.
And
it did that lagged a minute for me, but
loves spiders, and the spiders are little luminescent things that light up the space downtown.
Yeah.
What an inconvenient way to light up space, let me tell you.
It's mentioned before, like, can you not have lamps, my guy? But anyway, so she goes down there.
Lamps exist.
It's so messy, and because he's like, I definitely don't have it, you know. Why would I have it? And she's like, well, he might not know he has it, and it might just be in there. And she's like, I'll go in there and I'll find it and I'll give it to Valerie, the woman who nearly destroyed my shop on top of my Catito's heads. Like, and then she'll go away and everything will be fine. And I'm like, do you know what consequences?
She's not very practical, is she?
Do you know what consequence? That's the dumbest idea I've ever.
Doesn't
fucking
she tell
heard.
him to, or does she?
She does eventually,
because he's like, yeah, I would give it to her if I had it, but I don't have it.
No,
like,
she literally. So when she goes into for the first time into his little like dungeon area, and she's looking for it and stuff. As soon as she Enrique ends up saying,
Yannick, I don't know. You can't you can't do this to me, Kate.
Enrique ends up saying, no, there's like a 4th floor, but it's locked, and he said it's like super, super locked. And so anyway, she goes down there and she finds them, and it's like a little living room.
The cats also get into. Does she follow the cats down? I feel like the cats are involved in this
she
somehow.
goes in, and His Majesty is already down there fucking shit up.
Oh yeah,
and
real quick though. Real quick, because I want to make a point real quick. But anyway, she goes down there and she sees him in the living room and in his little like cozy area, and she like wraps with a scarf that she has around his wounded leg that looks like a shadow and stuff. And they have this thing, and she's like, "Yeah, I was gonna grab the book for Valerie," and he's like, "Oh, you're really dumb," and it's like, "Yeah, you are really dumb." But anyway, the point is though. So we're in the 1920s, you said, Valerie?
Yeah, that's the vibe. It's kind of like an Art Deco-y, like 1920s Montreal, I'm pretty sure.
We don't know when exactly we are.
We don't know exactly.
That's true.
All we know is that not every house, nor every apartment or building has electricity yet. And because that's specifically stated towards the beginning. In a world of magicians, are you telling me not one singular magician decided to make electricity or something akin to it? Nor, mind you, later on with like when it's like she's like, why can't magicians ever do good for the world? Are you telling me not a single magician ever decided to be like a doctor or something? Like nobody does this? Nobody?
I'm telling you,
I can't believe it.
Building are cool, but like it's just not.
It's not fleshed out. It doesn't feel real.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to say that because there's this one point later on. I think it's like when we're given something about somebody's medical something. Maybe it was her dead husband or whatever. But there's like this one point where I'm just like, wait, so nobody's ever used magic to medically treat somebody?
The blurb on Goodreads for this book is a woman who runs a cat rescue in 1920s Montreal.
There you go.
So 1920s.
Yeah. And
that's the difference between Howl's Moving Castle and this, though, because Howl's Moving Castle actually has weird mechanics that look like wizards made it.
Yeah. And also because wizards are actively part of society in Howl's Moving Castle in ways that like those things are actually having.
That's true.
Like where here it's like the wizards just exist completely separately and illegally.
Kind of, but then later they kind of go back on that a little bit.
They do. Like the police force is the first force that decides to use wizards on their side. And I'm like, not medical? We didn't go medical? Like Katie said, the police. Why is the police Why are the armies always the one utilizing
the cops fucking would do that.
Also,
like,
but why not commercialism? Like making things.
Yep, exactly. Like, do you know how convenient it would be to have an artifact that just like automatically just cleaned your whole house for you? Like, I would pay for that shit. But the other thing, so real quick, her husband died 2 years ago. She's still quite hit by the grief of it. We haven't had time, we haven't spoken about it a ton, but that's just like timeline wise.
It comes up here and there. Yeah.
But yeah, so she's gonna steal this thing, but then she finds him. He's sad and pathetic because he's injured, and she tells him, and he's like, I don't think I have it, and if I did, I would destroy it. Like, you can't give it to her. And this is the point where they have the discussion about that, and she's like, it wasn't you that, and then she's like, if it was probably Valerie that did the thing, so we can't give it to Valerie, so we'll just find it and destroy it. And she's like, I'm going to, and she basically is like,
take it upon myself to organize your entire multi-floored basement area.
I'm an organizational
catalog
wizard.
Your shit.
I'm gonna catalog.
I'm making
everything.
An Excel sheet, baby.
And it's gonna be. We're gonna find it if it's here. And she develops this whole system, and we get a couple of scenes of her doing this, and then it all just happens off screen. Because I thought, okay, is this gonna be our slice of life? How they bond?
That's what I thought.
As they're getting together.
I wanted more of it.
And also, like, him being like, where did you move it? Like, because there's a couple times where he was like, oh, you're such a demon, but we never see him, like, not find something.
We never got the bathtub scene.
Yes. It would have been great to get the bathtub scene equivalent.
Yes.
But yeah, so she starts, like, that becomes the thing that she's doing. So she's, like, running the 2 places. She's doing this thing, and out of nowhere, the book's like, and she'd developed a crush on Havelock. And I'm like, you've spent like 3 seasons. Where? Motherfucker, where?
Because he's a little pretty. Is that it? She's like, I don't know.
She hates magic, so why would she like him?
This book is relying so heavily on you just being like, isn't this kind of like Howl? You like Howl, remember? Do you see this dynamic? You like it? You like it? And they have a crush. I'm like,
her sister is like, your
sister notices somehow, like that. Like, oh, you've got a little crush, and
also like you started to think of him as one of your cats, haven't you? Where he's like a thing you can fix. You're always out there fixing shit, and she's like, oh no, I haven't, and you're like, that's exactly what's fucking happening. But like again, we haven't seen enough of him. Also, Laurent's kind of into her, but we haven't seen enough of him, and so there's just.
But also, Havelock so far has been a jackass.
Yeah, and just like
this book tells you far too much about the character relationships. Like, it doesn't let them play out in ways where
no percolation.
There's zero percolation. While all of this is happening, he doesn't like the cats. His Majesty is harassing him. The only cat that he doesn't seem to have initial like antagonism with is Banshee, because Banshee is, again, no self-preservation, likes dangerous things, so she loves Havelock immediately. Is like, oh, I like Havelock. All this stuff is great. Shit's kind of happening. They're selling the magical cats. They're developing more of a reputation. They're getting busier. And then, like, which happens first? Does she get arrested or does No. It happens first.
No,
so she comes home one day, and Valerie is in the street fucking shit up, and she's trying to get into the...
And first of all, so... I think before this happens, Laurent, the cop, kind of asks her out to a little festival date thing. And she's like, I don't know if I should go. I don't know. I like him. He's really nice. And I don't know if she goes on the date first or if the Valerie thing happens. Oh, you're right. You're right. The Valerie thing happens first. You're right.
So she comes home one night, and the Valerie's out there. She's trying to get into the building. And there's
a whole bunch of people also on the street, because originally what happens is she's at the other location, the richer location, and there's a whole bunch of people because they're like, oh my god, we want your cats, and it's like a whole bunch of people, and she's like, oh no, so and so, I think it's her sister or whatever, is at the other shop alone. Unprepared. And so she runs off, and there's a whole bunch of people. She's like, oh, for the cats? And no, it's not for the cats, because Valerie is outside and she's pushing. And what happened is she trapped Havelock into the Rivenwood, which is basically just, again, that's not explored at all, by the way, guys.
Yeah. It's explained. It's like a darkness forest place.
Yeah,
we never.
It reminds
me,
really if anybody has heard of or watched Made in Abyss or whatever. It's basically
it's a little like that.
Yeah, and it's just basically there are different fathoms, and the the deeper in the fathom,
the deeper you
get,
go, the more dangerous it is, and it's harder
and
to
you
come
lose your
back out.
humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the things we've learned about Havelock is he has spent too much time. So he had to go into the fourth fathom, which is really fucking deep, to break the really dumb apocalypse curse.
So she traps him over there, and so she's like, "No, I get to do this on my own time." And she has all her followers, which are like shades of themselves. Which does that not remind you a little bit of the Witch of the Wastes and her minions?
Very much so. Like even in my premise, I didn't get all the Howl references, and they were plentiful.
Yeah,
but
and
yeah,
so
she's got a bunch of sort of shadowy, like people who have completely lost themselves.
Even at one point, by the way, I think I'm pretty sure Valerie will remember this. Not book Valerie, this Valerie, and also Maria. At one point, she's like, "And do you eat maidens' hearts?" And I was just like, Come on. And so anyway, so she's out there, and then long story short, a whole battle ensues because Havelock comes back, and
everybody's like, "It's the Witch King," and you're like, "How the fuck do they know what he looks like?" And then our girl Agnes is like, "Well, I guess he does have the aura of the Witch King." So I
like how she tries to make an excuse. I'll be right back, ladies. Please continue the synopsis.
So they're throwing things, and she's trying to get in. And then eventually His Majesty comes out and is like, "Get away from my territory. This is my shop. Bat, bat, bat." And like slashes at Valerie's leg and gets her. And it's like the thing that finally like shakes Valerie out of the city. Well, actually, no. I think our girl, like they're battling. And I think this is the part where Agnes has.
Did they go in the secret side entrance or
no? She has His Majesty, and she throws it at Valerie to give Havelock enough time to get his shit together. And
not the first time she throws a cat at someone.
Yes, she's thrown cats at people a couple of times. So I think,
and it won't be the last.
Yeah, and I think
this might be the first.
I think this is the point where it happens. And if you've read this and it's not, forgive me. I read a lot of this in airports. But anyway, His Majesty is enough to distract Valerie that Havelock can kind of fuck her and get back like to his position of power that he was in. But then Valerie grabs His Majesty and runs, just fucks off and
steals that little boy,
steals the cat, and our girl is disconsolate,
distraught.
That was her dead husband's cat. And Valerie stole him? Is he dead? Why would she take that cat?
What is she gonna do to this, like, a funny little guy who she loves so much?
This weird, like, asshole of a cat.
Angry ass cat, yeah.
And she's disconsolate. The other cat's very happy. They hated His Majesty. So everybody else, it's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever had, like, with like a group of kids or with animals, but if you remove the problem one and then everyone else starts behaving really nice, kind of like that situation. I think it's around now, or it was before this, but I need to talk about, like, so again, she develops the crush really quick, and there's this point where like a new cat came in and it had fleas, and a couple of the other cats got fleas, including Old Boy Thoreau, he's a senior cat. And so the fleas really hurt him, and he's got arthritis and stuff like that. So he's very uncomfortable. And Havelock is like, ugh, those guys are like, those cats out there, stinky fleas and stuff like that.
And we should say, up to this point, there have been a few instances where they sort of look at each other, and he looks a little bashful and looks away, and she looks a little bashful and looks away. That's about the extent of their flirty relationship.
And of you being like, wow, they're developing a relationship. And he cast the magic spell that gets rid of all pests and a couple of other things in the entire shelter. So suddenly all the cats are flea free and a couple of other issues free. And she's like, and he's like, okay, good night. I got rid of your fleas. And he goes to bed, and she looks at all the cats, and all the cats are so much happier. And it also got rid of some other stuff. And she's like, oh my God. And
what a nice guy.
And she's just taken by the impulse, and she just goes down, opens the basement thing, goes down, finds him in his room, and he's like, Agnes, what are you doing here? And she runs up to him, she grabs him, and she plants a big fat one on his lips. And he's like,
he like touches her neck, and opens his mouth, and she's like, what am I doing?
And then she runs away. And you're like, the fuck?
What? What the fuck just happened?
I was completely unprepared for kiss at this. It's not even like you as the reader are like, oh, I ship them. I'm so ready for this. No,
like they did not build this relationship up in a way that was satisfying
it was
at all.
terrible, and
All
I
they've
hated
done
it.
is kind of blush around each other.
And
this is a woman who was deeply in love with her husband. We're told they had such this beautiful connection, and this is so superficial and kind of uninteresting compared to what were described of that. I'm just like,
it's terrible.
and the book tries to tell you like, oh, well, no one could ever replace him. It's a different kind of love. And I'm like, what love is this? There's nothing interesting happening.
I hate it. I hate it. But anyway, so then back to when after His Majesty is stolen, and they're trying to figure out like what's happening. And they're like, and I immediately was like, oh, she's gonna use His Majesty to figure out how to get into his wards, because he has wards around the things that she can't get past.
And His Majesty's always snooping around in the basement. And
he keeps getting into places where there's no doors, and you're like, how the fuck did he get there? And
because he's a magical cat, but yet he's not.
Yeah, cats are just really good. He's not. Cats are really just good at finding gaps.
And he's like a big chunker, isn't he? He's a big chunker in my head.
Like a trans-dimensional, like mythical cat.
Apparently not. I was like, did I miss something?
Yeah, I thought Valerie would have noticed, and she was like, "Oh, that's a magical cat," and I'm gonna like it's actually
that's what I thought too.
Yep,
I thought you were talking about me for a second. No. I was like, oh,
no, I genuinely thought are you guys talking about when she kidnaps the cat?
Yeah, we're past that, but we're talking about
when Valerie kidnaps His Majesty, you're like, and she's running away with him. I'm like, oh, is that the book? Is like somehow that the book? Did he absorb the magic or something?
Yeah.
Or is he something else that she's interested in? And it's like wow, I see
that. Clocked him as a magical creature and like, oh, I can use this to get exactly
again. Maybe he's a trans-dimensional. Like he can.
Like why does she even take him in the first place?
That's the wildest thing. That's the wildest thing. The book is going to tell you.
If I read this and I missed something, I honestly felt like I missed so much in this. I was like, surely this was explained in a way that made sense because...
No, it wasn't. The book is eventually going to tell you that she was like... Because eventually, I'm just going to very quickly touch on this. Eventually, she uses His Majesty to get into the wards. But like, why would she look...
Yeah. She doesn't know that this cat knows his way around.
So I'm like, was it emotional black? Like, what are we doing? Why would you take this cat? Are you lonely, Valerie? Do you need a friend?
Actions make no sense in this. No sense. No. Like, so much of what she does, like, at one point I was taking notes and I was like, so, like, did Valerie go back in time so that, like, Agnes and, what's this fuck Havelock wouldn't meet? Like was she aware of this time loop? Like did she go back to the specific point to prevent them from meeting? And I was like, no, her logic is nothing.
I forgot the dumbest thing. The dumbest thing. So prior to our girl moving into Havelock's shop, Valerie could not find it. She'd never found.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. She'd never found it. It was too hard to locate her stink brother. But then Agnes moves in, and immediately, week 1, she busts in. Why?
Guess why, guys?
Because when she was destroying apartments, Valerie was one of the magicians that was having the street brawl that destroyed Agnes's apartment. What? Is that Scar?
It's Scar. He decided to bequeath me with his presence.
Did he just jump up in your lap?
Yes.
I'm glad we've all had cat cameos in this episode at least.
Well, this is my rescue.
Yeah.
That doesn't like he's.
Yeah, I usually see Mochi. This isn't Mochi. This is a baby
Scar.
boy.
He's looking for a home.
Oh, hello.
He's being fostered.
Cuddly.
He's so sweet. Look at that baby.
Oh my god.
He was a street cat his whole life. Look at that. That's a street cat.
Look. He's so cuddly.
Let me tell you,
dude,
reformed street cats. Yeah. Are you going to drive him to California?
I mean, we would figure out something. But the thing is he has to be in a single cat home. He has FIB.
Yeah, I got a sweetheart already, I'm afraid.
He's got those big old tomcat jowls too.
Yeah.
And he's been bleeding the past couple of days, which hasn't been great, but he's doing okay now. And he's never sat in my lap ever until yesterday.
Oh, this is unresolved textual tension, mystical cat shelter right now,
Right
guys.
now.
If you want a cat, if you want a lovely, lovely
Also,
boy.
former strays, former tomcats are the biggest cuddle bugs. Adopt
Dude.
a former tomcat.
He literally slept in my lap yesterday for 4.5 hours, and I was like, I have to pee. I have to get up.
They are the biggest cuddle bugs. I also have a former unneutered male street cat who turned into the biggest cuddle bug.
Anyway.
Cats.
But yeah, and her shelter, when it got hit and Valerie blasted through her wall, for some reason, was hit with a tracking spell. So Agnes and all of the cats were magically, number one, drawn. Remember how in the beginning I was like, she kept saying she was drawn to that street where this shop was the whole time, and the book kept being like, wow, I wonder why I'm being drawn here. It's because there was a magical spell on her, tracking her, but also trying to have her go here, even though Valerie didn't know where it was. So why would the spell have drawn her to a place Valerie didn't know? But also, did Valerie just blow up the street and think, wow, somebody will want to rent the space where my brother, like, again, I don't understand why you wasted magic. Like, was it an accident? Did you accidentally put a tracking spell on a bunch of people and some cats, and then you were like, I'll just follow where that tracking spell led for shits and gigs?
I was taking notes. I went back, I was like, this doesn't make sense. So I went back trying to take notes, trying to piece together Valerie's logic and like also the logic of the time travel and stuff. And I was like, I give up. I can't figure it out.
Did every shop she destroy on the old street also get hit with tracking magic? But why would she think that would work? She would have to know her brother was in a building that he was renting out as a cover, and she would have to be like, I'll destroy a bunch of people, and maybe one of them, in trying to rent
out that place.
Will rent out that space, and that's how I'll find. If you knew your brother was renting out a space, all you have to do is get apartment listed ads, and just show up to each one of them until you find, what are we doing? Why did this happen?
That was the shittiest excuse ever, and I thought it was a horrible plot hole. And besides the Enrique thing, which we'll get to.
Yannick.
And it's crazy because the character's like, oh, that's why I was drawn here. And he's like, wow, wild, my sister put a tracking thing in. And I'm like, but because the book's going to pretend that this is all very normal, but it's not very normal. It makes zero senses. Anyway,
nobody can see that Maria's gripping her furniture as she says this, but in the wide
clawing
shot.
Into that. But, oh God, what was I going to say?
Sorry.
Shit, what was it? My thoughts. It went. Okay, what were we talking about?
We were talking about. Oh wait, hold on a second, Maria.
I'm okay. Oh no, I'm still here.
Okay,
I can hear you.
What was she talking about, Maria? Help her remind her.
Talking about how dumb it was, and how the book is going to pretend it makes sense that this happened, but it doesn't.
That she found the tracking spell. Enrique.
Yannick?
Plot hole.
Yannick. God, I lost it. It's okay.
I'm so sorry.
If you remember it, stop me. But yeah, so back to the point where we're at, where they're like, oh man, Valerie has His Majesty, and they're trying to get on with life and trying to figure things out. And I'm just gonna bulldoze to the end of the book because I don't think anything else important happens. Oh no, we have to do this part. So after a couple of days,
you're cutting out a little bit, Maria.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I mean, we can hear you, but you sound like a robot.
Oh no. I don't want to sound like a robot.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay. Can you understand me? Do I sound robotic?
Oh no, the robot's
normal. Oh no. Oh no. Here, let me text my husband and see if the internet is watching.
That's what you sound like as you say things. Oh no, you're good now.
Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
We're back. Yeah. Okay. So a couple of days into His Majesty being missing, it's almost time for when that cop asked her on a date.
The date.
To the there's a nighttime festival thing, and he was like, you should go with me, and she's like, no, I'm not gonna go. I'm so sad. And they were like, no. What?
But yeah, Elise is like, but maybe if you get in, or was Elise was encouraging it because maybe he could help them, like, sort of navigate this
smooth
situation.
things over. But then her husband is there for one of the only times he's ever there, and he's like, you know, the police are about to pass, like, the government is in the process of trying to pass this thing that we've never heard about prior to this point. It would have been great if this came up in a newspaper article previously or anywhere, but basically the government is trying to pass a law that would let police officers search and raid any place they suspected of having magic without a warrant and without proof. Just suspicion would be enough. And she was like, and he's like, yeah, and your cat sanctuary, your cat shelter is first on the list. You would absolutely.
Yeah, he's like, between you and me, this is probably going to pass like tomorrow,
yeah.
And
so she's like, okay, maybe I need to stay on Laurent's good side. Maybe he could be helpful. And he was like, yeah, I wouldn't mention anything about the magic, but, you know, maybe this could be the, and because he's like, he's probably asking you on a date to, like, get info out of you. And she's like, really? You think that? And he's like, it's what I would do. And this is, like, the one time we get to see that Gabrielle is actually, like, a crafty ass bitch. But anyway, she goes on.
You, the reader, know that Laurent is going to do some sketchy shit here. Like, it's not surprising. Like,
you know it because we can't have a love triangle. Somebody's got to fall out of the love triangle, and I already know from the fan art it's not Havelock. So, actually, at one point, I did wonder to myself. I was like, oh, I wonder if that's, like, people imagining them getting together, and it's actually her and Laurent. And I was like,
no, the book did nothing to let that you believe that would happen.
And so she goes on the date, and at first everything is fine, but immediately he's like, how's work? Have you seen your? And she was like, huh? And he's like, you have to tell me stuff, because tomorrow by, like, 1 p.m. if that thing passes, we'll be there. And, you know, if you tell me stuff now, I could help you. Otherwise, we'll arrest you. And she's like, then fucking arrest me, you goddamn bastard. And
he's like, give me your coat or something, like, hand over your coat.
And she throws it at him, and I love
she's
how
like, I don't have anything in my coat. And he immediately checks the pocket and pulls out the pen that she was using a magic pen.
Yeah, this is the dumbest plot device, everybody. The thing is we know well and good that Sophie, aka Agnes, does not like magic, right? So why would she keep the magical pen she reluctantly, but kind of happily, but reluctantly, like, there's not enough buildup to say that she's, there's not enough buildup to say, oh, she's been, like, getting fond enough of certain kinds of magic that she keeps, like, keeping little things. Like, it doesn't say, like, for example, at one point earlier on in the book, she uses this broom that makes the room freshen, and it never says, oh, she goes upstairs and uses it, or something like that. It never says that she starts habitually, like, using these little things to make her life easier. And so why she would have the pen, out of all moments, in this moment, on herself, is very plot devicey.
Yeah, like, was she wearing this coat while she was organizing?
Yeah, she was
in the basement. What?
But you shouldn't be wearing it in the basement. Like, that's a weird place to wear your fucking
right.
Coat.
Like, this is a winter coat she's wearing.
Yes, she said she was really cold in the basement, and that's why she did it. But it just seems very plot devicey. He doesn't have
magical heating, babes. We don't have furnaces. Pick rocks.
He would have that. He has a bajillion artifacts that do weird ass things. Yep. Surely he has internal, like, coat? Heating.
Yes, look, I don't disagree with you, ladies. I'm just saying, again, like, that's what it says, but it is a plot device.
And what the pen does is, if she uses it and, like, touches a thing, it'll tell her what the artifact does, because otherwise there was no way for her, and that helped her with cataloging. But anyway, so it's in her pocket, and he's like, we're arresting you for possession of a magical artifact. And so she goes to prison, and she spends the night in prison, and prison's fine. Nothing happens. The next morning, Elise gets her, they take her home. Havelock is upset. He's like, Laurent,
how cool would it
have been? So Elise picks her up from jail, right? She's like, I was there for hours, we got you, we're going back. And she's like, how are the cats? I'm so worried about the cats after what happened and everything, like, at the shelter and with Valerie. And she's like, don't worry, where I left them with someone in charge. And she's like, who? And she's like, oh, Havelock. And she's like, oh my god, Havelock ruined everything. The cats are going to be in disarray. And the cats are, in fact, in disarray, but in a cute, charming way. Yeah. He's like, oh no, I'm sneezing, I hate cats. But he
went through the checklist, and they scratched him, but he did the checklist in his way. And there's a cat in a wall sconce on the ceiling that didn't get electrocuted.
Ambulance.
Fucking ambulance? Poor, like, what the fuck is happening? Anyway, so they get there and they're like, okay, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna like deal with this situation? Because like now, not only do they have to worry about Valerie, but are they going to get raided by the government? And he's like, don't worry, guys. I've put a magical spell that keeps people from seeing anything in the basement. It just looks like an empty room. And she's like, but no. They're using magicians. And plot twist, Laurent is a magician.
Laurent is a magician. There's magicians in the police force.
But he's never been to the Rivenwood, so he's okay.
Which is the shadowy place. So he doesn't have that chiaroscuro, like, dramatic lighting that other magicians has, because he's never actually touched the darkness where, you know, the rest of them go to get that
by the way, everybody,
about them.
We have not said this, I'm pretty sure, but there is some lore behind this. The lore is that once upon a time, there were a group, there was a race of people in this Rivenwood, like, world, and this is, we get this from Havelock and his supposition, but the whole thing is that forever ago, people from that land, when a big bad happened, came from that land to this land, or dimension, if you will, and they are the descendants of those people that came from the other land, kind of like the fairy, almost, one might say.
I kept waiting for this to be a crossover for Emily Wilde.
Yeah, I did too. I did too. And so, but anyway, and so that's who these magicians are. They are the seedlings, or the descendants of these people who were disposed and put out of their original land. So, just
and can I just say, this world building is so wasted on this story. Like, it's so
that's a fascinating concept.
It doesn't mesh together at all with what's it's like. Okay, that's cool.
Yep,
but that has nothing to do with what. It doesn't matter right now.
Also, another thing that doesn't matter and goes nowhere. There's supposed to be this thing where the more you go into the Rivenwood to access, because to imbue magic into artifacts, you have to go into the Rivenwood and collect the magic, and then you put it in the things. But the more you go into the Rivenwood and the deeper you go, the more you lose your humanity until you become a shade. And our boy Havelock, there are times where he's human, but he's not really substantial, and he seems to have lost himself a little bit. Like when he was doing that duel with Valerie before she stole his majesty, the cat, he was, barely himself. But then afterwards, he was fine, no problems. And so, like, there's supposed to be this whole thing about...
robot again.
Oh, no.
That was so funny. Dalek, I'm so glad you get to experience this. I
like, because we heard he was like, and then just robot sounds.
Is it better? Am I back?
Yes. Yeah, you're back.
Okay. But yeah, and he's fine. Like, no problems. And it's supposed to be that, like, she's helping him, stay grounded and stuff, but it goes nowhere because he's never actually at
He's
risk.
Never in any danger, or like it doesn't actually seem like he's lost himself.
It doesn't. It's crazy how little that impacts anything. But anyway, so they're like, we've got to deal with, what if they come and they have a magician, this whole thing. But then they're like, oh my god, do you hear something? Why does it sound like there's somebody in the shop? And they were so worried about people coming in, they didn't realize somebody was already here. And it turns out Valerie is downstairs, and she's been downstairs. His Majesty and her have become best friends, and he showed her how to sneak in through all the
I did not believe this at all. As soon as we were told that, I was like, why did this cat turn on Agnes like this?
And like, was she like, all right, kitty, show me the way? Like, you can't talk to, like, cats don't work.
Did you just, and I thought maybe she just released him out around and then just followed him. And like, right? So he was like, I'm going home now, bitches. But immediately, like, he's like lounging in Valerie's arms and just like, oh yeah, it's just my like I like it here. And Havelock is like, and unfortunately Havelock is not in the greatest position during this because Valerie has already gone through his hoard of shit, and she's collected artifacts, and so has a bunch of her apprentices, sorceress people that her shades that are with her, and so they have a bunch of his powerful magic, and he's just like unprepared for this, and they're like throwing shit at him, and then there's this point where His Majesty goes to attack Havelock, but Banshee, who has now decided Havelock's hers, goes to fight him, and it's like, get the fuck away! And
cat versus cat.
But it was crazy because 5 seconds ago, His Majesty was attacking Valerie against, like, so it doesn't make any sense.
The thing is, I think if they had done a better job of letting you know, because I think it's been about a week of book time in between this happening. But again, I would have need to be sold much more on the relationship between His Majesty and Valerie for this to work for me. And because the thing is, I believe he would attack Havelock because he did multiple points. Like, he doesn't like that guy.
He loves to attack.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of his thing.
Yeah. Side note, guys.
Look at that.
Scar
I know.
keeps watching you. He can see you up there.
You know what's hysterical? Same with Jojo. He watches screens. He pays attention to. He'll watch TV
It's
with
probably
us.
because of the bird and squirrel stuff.
If you play fishes on your phone, he'll bat them.
I showed you guys the picture, I think, because Kyle was watching one of our episodes on like the TV screen in our living room, and Dazzler usually shows up in these. So I was holding her at one point, and I paused it because Dazzler had hopped up on the TV stand and was sniffing her own face.
Oh my god!
I remember that. I think did you take a picture or something?
Yeah,
I sent it to you guys.
Yeah, I remember that. No, he keeps. The only reason I know is because as I'm looking at you guys, I see his eyes following your gestures, and I'm just like, I want you to know, Maria knows this, but my computer screen is very wide, and on the right side, I have a whole YouTube video waiting for me. So, like, there's a lot of stuff going on the screen, but he keeps watching.
I'm honored to be perceived by your creature.
Absolutely. Especially because it's so, like, my other three, they don't give a shit about screens or what's on them. They don't even know.
Same thing with Mochi. Mochi couldn't give less of a fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, so this whole thing is happening, and our girl. So I have to explain something really quick that I didn't explain earlier. Earlier, when she was talking to Havelock about the apocalypse thing. He was like, yeah, there was this point where I thought I could fix
the lantern
using one of Vortigern's artifacts. It's this lantern that will suck up magic into it that is being used. And he was like, I thought that would work. And I went to it's like on day 2 of the apocalypse, I went up to a high point in this one park, and I was up there and I was going to use it. But then some stranger just came and stole it. And, like, it didn't kill. And a lot of people wanted to kill me because they thought if they killed me, they could fix it. And they thought I did it, even though it wasn't me. And, like, the stranger didn't kill me, but they did take the lantern. And so then it made me realize that I had to I made the spell to do this, and I had to make a spell to undo it. So that's when I went into the 4th fathom of the Rivenwood, and I got enough for the 12-layer unbinding, or whatever kind of spell it was. Anyway, I'm putting that there. Our girl Agnes.
There's another thing I need to mention that I think has been mentioned up to this point that we haven't talked about is the oven that I mentioned previously.
Yes.
We have
every day
over it,
every day at midnight the oven makes what is like an eclair, like a little pastry or something.
Random pastry.
And it just pops up a random pastry in the oven. And there's also a little bit of lore where the baker, who I guess used to own the space or something, thought that our boy Havelock had stolen a lot of pastries from him. Like, this is, and he's like, I never stole a pastry. I don't know why he was so mad about me stealing pastries. I never did that. And we're like, oh, okay, that's a little odd.
A little odd.
But yeah, this oven is enchanted.
Yes.
And it has been sort of sprinkled throughout.
And our girl Banshee, the Kitito, likes to sleep in the oven. Anyway, so during this fight, she's like, oh my god, Havelock is going to get his ass handed to him. These people have really powerful spells. He's not like prepared for this. He's not going to win this. And then she's like, brain blast. She's like, because there's this point where Valerie. Jimmy Neutron.
Did you ever even watch Jimmy Neutron?
Jimmy Neutron. I watched tons of Jimmy Neutron. Are you kidding me?
Fair enough. I just didn't realize you had cable.
Yeah, of course I had cable. But anyway, so Valerie has this artifact that shows you the thing you want, and she's standing in a spot. She's like, it says it should be here, but it's not. It must be downstairs. And then our girl is like, oh shit, where she's standing. God,
it was right up at the top floor. Was in the oven.
She was like, she's standing the exact place that the oven would be on the top floor. It wasn't below. It was above. Yeah. And she runs, and Elisa's like, the fuck are you doing? And she runs, and she's like, oh my god, Banshee's been sleeping there the whole time. The pastries are time traveling. And Elisa's like, the fuck? And you as a reader are like, what the fuck is happening? What leaps of logic have you made? And basically she
this is really dumb. It's because Havelock has already said he is not known where the book is, and it seems very believable. But in this moment, what we learn...
he burned the book in the oven.
Yeah, but he tried to burn the book.
But he also doesn't know that he burned the book in the oven. Like, he didn't know.
Right.
Like, there's a later point where he was like, really? I didn't realize that. Like, and I'm like,
then why did he try to burn it?
You burned a random book that you didn't know what it was? And anyway, so the idea is that the book was burned by Havelock at some point in the oven, and it's just been sitting there, and its magic has been leaching into the oven. And so she goes in and she's feeling around, and it's a big oven. It's one of those ones you can like stand in.
She can step inside,
and she's like looking, and she finds the burnt remains of the book, and she's like, okay, I can travel back in time to the moment when he had the lantern, because I can't change history, but I know somebody stole the lantern from him, so I can be the person that stole. And Elise,
I can't believe she came up with that.
Yes.
There's no foreshadowing that helps you understand her line of thinking.
Yeah, like, she's explaining this, and like, she's like, wow, I can't believe I pieced this together. And I'm like, yeah, I can't believe you pieced
it either.
This together.
She was like, it was Banshee. She showed me the way, and I'm like, motherfucker, how? I don't understand any of this. But anyway, she has, in a panic, watching Havelock, thinking he's going to die, put together this whole plan of finding the thingy, time traveling back in time, getting the lantern, coming back, and using that to save Havelock. It is insane. Anyway, and here I'm like, wow, this is way worse than the way time traveling was used in the movie of Howl's Moving Castle. Because if I'm not mistaken, time traveling doesn't actually happen in the book. Yeah, I don't think there was a time traveling thing in the book. I think that was something Miyazaki added, but I can't remember.
No, it's just multidimensional in the book, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. Anyway, so she definitely the movie we're working off of. But anyway, so she goes in the thing. Elise is in there with her, and she's like, every time when the pastries, the baker was right, they were being stolen because the furnace is going back in time, grabbing the tray from a different time, but for some reason at midnight, and that's what this is. So every time we're eating it, it is stolen goods. And she's like, Elise is like, okay, how the fuck do we use it? And he had taught her once previously a spell, you say,
incantation, basically
an incantation that will unlock whatever the spell is, the artifact spell is. And so she says it, and it's not working, and she says
but it doesn't work. No, this doesn't work plotline wise, because can we all recall, just for a brief moment, how Havelock explained to her that the more powerful artifacts require different incantations that would likely kill the person, but only because like it wasn't made well. So it makes sense why she would live, but she doesn't know those incantations. So how can she access the goddamned book?
I feel like it's trying to imply that she's a little bit magical and she doesn't know
I
it.
also thought the same thing.
But if that's the case, you have to fucking acknowledge that, babes. And this book
and
is
it's
not.
Never acknowledged.
Never acknowledged.
I mean, it's hinted at many times, but it's never looked at and been like, hey, maybe. No, not actually.
Anyway,
but this is when we go back to
the bakery,
the pandemic, or the
apocalypse.
Pandemic, sorry, the apocalypse.
And so
it's a blackout, essentially.
It's blackout, and the weather's bad. Like, there's a lot of hail and weird storms happening. But if you stay
Montreal
inside,
on a normal year,
fucking hell. Anyway. And so they're in the bakery, and they're like, we gotta sneak out of here before the baker gets up. And they go, and she's like, okay, he said he went to this park, and he was gonna go, like, to the, and we just gotta get there.
We're gonna go find him.
And we're gonna wait until he appears.
We're gonna put our little hoods up so he doesn't recognize us. We're gonna be so incognito. We don't want to fuck up history.
Yeah, he can't know me before he met me, because,
but guess what, guys?
Yeah.
Agnes immediately rescues a cat because she can't fucking help herself. She's like, I'm gonna put this cat in my jacket.
Yes, she was the cat.
Chekhov's cat.
Yeah, this is. I think this is the point where she throws a cat as well. It is Chekhov's cat, because that's exactly what the fuck it is.
It is.
So they go up to this top, and they see a bunch of magicians coming around, and they're chasing something. And what it is there's a bunch of magicians trying to kill Havelock. And so eventually,
he's trying to end the world. We gotta kill him.
Yeah.
Pew, pew.
Even though they know, because they're magicians, they know that just because you kill the person who made or cast the spell doesn't mean the spell stops.
Like, Valerie, the magician fight is so stupid. They're like, we're gonna kill him and attack him with our little spells. It's just like the dumbest Marvel fight in the whole world.
Yeah, and he doesn't have any good spells anymore, so he's just throwing cheap stuff.
This is like the fight between Scarlet Witch and the whatever group of smart people that are expecting the end of the world. I forget what their group called in the multiverse. Anyway, if any of you
like it's a
nerds are
little
out
bit
there,
funny. Like, oh, I'm running out of all my good spells. Here's one that turns the guy into like paper, and he like wraps around a
Two-dimensional,
tree or something. Like, it's like it's a little bit like funny, but also like tonally, I don't really
It doesn't
understand what I'm
work.
supposed to feel about this like
Yeah.
fight scene because it's goofy, but it's also supposed to be serious. Anyway, like our girl Agnes is like, I can't let him know who I am, but then like a demon horse like rushes out and she's like, move, Havelock. I'm like, he's like, huh? And like
And she ends up throwing a cat again at the person wielding it so that he has enough time to like deal with the situation, and the cat like incapacitates the witch.
Incongruous with her typical personality.
She would never have thrown a cat. Like, everything we have seen.
And she was like, and I do feel bad about this, but I did throw the cat at the person.
I would never throw a cat. The cat.
Yeah, why are we throwing the cats at people? I stopped doing that. I never throw my cat at anyone.
And Havelock looks at her and she's talking to him like he like she knows him.
Yeah, she immediately
he's stupid.
She's
like, oh, actually, I'm just gonna start talking to you normal. And he's like, oh, is this you, Alice Vortiger?
Yeah,
and she's like, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard. She cracks up.
Because she's like, that lantern's not going to work. You're going to have to get your own spell. You're going to have to go to the fourth fathom, make a 12-layer dip.
And like, he's like, okay, you sound like you know what you're talking about, Miss Alice or Agnes Alice. So he firmly believes that she's this witch, and she's like, this is so funny that he thinks I'm so all powerful with this. So funny.
How great would it have been if she was actually?
I wanted her to be. I want like maybe she is. I don't know.
Or like
she loves cats.
But
both
also
of them love cats.
Maybe she ends up going back in time. Like the two of them go back in time together, and they live as separate. You know, like, and it is.
I thought that was what was gonna happen because like it's interesting that he was like, oh yeah, and Alice Vortiger loves cats. She's like notoriously weird. That's a weird thing you just did, and she's like, I guess I can see how you put that together, but I'm not her. You crazy. So here's what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to give me the lantern. And sorry.
You have to go do this.
And he just listens to her.
And he's like,
problem.
oh, actually, I trust you for some reason. Inherently, I trust you.
I don't know.
Do I maybe know you from somewhere? I don't know why, but I trust you.
And he's like, she's like, you will meet me again, bro. Toodles. And
then she hugs him. She gives him a big old like weepy hug and like kind of touches his face sensually. And he's like, okay, I could be into this.
Yeah, that's exactly the vibe. Also,
that is the vibe.
During this kerfuffle, her sister Elise got hit with a sleeping spell, and she's like, you need to take that off. We gotta go. And he's like, I'm sorry, that'll wear off in like a couple of hours. So
which is another
just to hold her like half unconscious sister back to the
guys, did you notice that's another allusion to Howl's Moving Castle? He was like,
oh god,
I was so busy, like I made this sleeping spell, but I never learned because I didn't care how to undo it, which is exactly what the Witch of the Waste says in the movie.
This is like beyond, again, like I said earlier, homages and like quirky fun homages to this. This is just like I don't know why we're doing this. It's not helping the story.
It just feels like, just call it fanfic. You should have just published it online. I don't know what you were doing. But anyway, so she has to drag her sister back, and they keep kind of devolving into giggles because her sister's like fighting to stay awake. And then there's a point where she has to like go into the shop, and she like parks Elise somewhere so she can get in for a second. And as she turns the corner, Robon is there.
Someone calls her name.
And he's like,
huh?
He's like, darling, why are you out? You should be at home. Because earlier she was like, thank God I never left my flat the entire apocalypse. I don't have to worry about running into myself.
And she freezes. And let me tell you, this scene is actually, I think, really well written.
It is well
done. I thought so too.
This bit here is so beautiful.
The best part of the book.
I legitimately started crying.
I did.
Was like a tear did.
I was on the plane, and I'm like, why do I always fucking cry on planes? I always end up watching sad shit on planes.
But like the other thing about the scene that pissed me off is that it just reminds you how superficial and uninteresting her relationship with like Havelock is, because like the way she describes seeing her husband again is so tragic. She's like, I would do anything to spend one more year with him and our cat in our apartment. And he looks so much more beautiful than I remembered. Yeah. And he's like, and like,
God,
I was just like,
so
oh my God.
That's
like
how I felt I would feel.
I knew that like Kyle had died, and I ran into him like on like the way that I would not be okay.
Yeah.
Knowing that like, oh my god, he's alive right here, right now. I could just be here for one more year, and
Yeah,
like,
and I don't have to do anything. I can, but the thing is you can't, because
and
there's
the
so
book
much
does a
other
really
reason.
good job of making you feel emotional about this scene and how much she loves her husband.
Yep. And that
And it also it just cheapens the rest of what
Yeah.
she's done.
And he's
Yes.
just like such a good guy. Like he's
so sweet.
The vibes
and, like,
are excellent. We
He's just such
fucking
a good
love
guy.
them. And it just
No, he is actually, what's crazy is in that brief scene that we get, like I got, I don't know how many pages it is, but I would presume that it would be approximately like 4 pages or so, maybe 5 or something. In those few pages, you get more character out of her husband that has passed away than you ever do out of Havelock in an intimacy
and honestly,
setting.
any other character.
I have a theory. Here's my theory, babes. I think Heather Fawcett can write characters who have known each other already, have an established relationship, and
Which
already
is
have
why,
feelings
what like
for
fucking
each
like
other.
Wendell Brambleby works. Like,
Yep.
Oh my god!
I don't
that
think
makes
she can
so much
actually
sense.
write two
the
characters
meet cute
falling
is
in love.
not her thing. I
She
don't think she could do
she
that.
can write characters falling in love. She can write characters who already know each
Who are
other
in love.
and are in love, and you watch that.
She's okay. Heather Fawcett, somebody link that one, not the rest of this, please, for the love of God, but just that one clip. Just clip it to her if you love her, because holy shit, she needs to market off of that, because there's plenty of material you can use with that.
I love that. It works so well. And
And
again,
the thing is, like,
in this
if
moment,
this was a better book, she could have even done it a little bit with the time travel stuff. Like maybe they fell in love in a different
Yeah.
timeline. Like there was ways she could make it work, but there was just no interesting chemistry between Agnes and Havelock. Like
Yep.
there's just nothing there besides the Howl and Sophie thing.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
very frustrate. So he ends up leaving, and she's like, it's just I can't decide
She like
how
oh,
sad.
it's such an affecting scene. It's so sad, and like she like wants so badly. She's like, I could stay here. I could stay here,
And
and like I could just keep him. And like she describes like how loud like the footsteps are and how they look back at each other. Like it's very affecting.
It's very
Like,
romantic.
yeah.
And it's so good. And she has to like coax herself, like, I have to go save the other actual cats that I have, and I gotta do this thing. And she goes, and her sister immediately is like, what the fuck's up? You look kinda but they don't have time, so they get back
And
into
like and she's just too sad to talk at
Yeah,
that point.
she
Like,
cannot-
she's like, I'm gonna start crying.
She cannot
Like, yeah.
articulate at all.
Mhm.
That's too deep. That is too deep. So they get into the fucking oven, and they're like, take me back, take me back, take me back. And at first they're like, is it working? But then it works.
Oh no.
Yeah, huzzah, it
It's
works.
smaller this time. Oh no.
Because
Blah, blah, blah,
so there's a really small gap, and the kitten she has with her squeezes through, and she's like, the cats know the gaps. Look, the thing that happened in the previous chapter, it happened again just now. And so they sneak under through the little gap to get through, and they get in, and she's like, Havelock, the lantern! And he's like, oh shit, it happened! And then he's like,
and at first, like in this scene, like, and I was like, when is she? Where is she? I thought it was actually going to go like she went to the wrong place, but no, she went to the exact right place in time, and she found him, and she gave him the lantern.
and he uses it, and it just sucks all the magic from like around them in like a 50
And
foot.
not just around them, from the people, including Darari. So he, I'm sorry, I can't speak French or roll my R's. But anyway, so everybody gets their magic, kind of like a certain witch in a movie. Anyway, everybody gets their magic taken from them on that floor.
Yeah, and so now they're all just normal humans. Some of them are kind of like dead because all they had left were kind of like magic stuff.
Yeah, they're empty husks, so all that's left is just the bodies, which
body?
is rough.
And all
Kind
the
of like
artifacts.
certain wizards that have committed themselves to magic so much that they can't move back.
Yes. And all the artifacts gone. None of them have magic no more. All the cataloging for naught. When Valerie does come to her, she fucks off with His Majesty. They kind of have to we kind of enter this point where like they're kind of putting their everything back together, and she's like, oh shit, the cops are gonna come. And they go out, and there's a bunch of people outside, and they're holding signs, and the one newspaper guy's like, don't worry, we're here, we're gonna keep them. And basically they're protesting the government and the cops that they shouldn't come touch their magical cat shelter. Don't you dare. But also
we love our little magic cats. Yeah.
A counter culture movement has happened where instead of everybody being like, boo the Witch King, Havelock Renard sucks, a bunch of people are like, actually, I was there when Havelock fought that one lady, and Havelock actually protected the cat shelter. And they don't think he lives there. Like, they haven't put that together, but they're like, Havelock's one of us. He's a Montrealian. I don't
They're
think
like suddenly so proud to know that this like Witch King lives in their town. Like, we never were afraid of him or anything. Actually, he's like a town hero.
He's good in my book. And so there's this like whole thing happening, and she's like, what the fuck is this? And then Gabrielle comes, and he's like, so basically, it's so unpopular now. It's not going to happen. That movement that would have let all the cops come in, and Laurent comes, and he's like, I'm sorry.
Magically, everything tidies itself up, and
it's
long
very
story
like
short,
Hallmark movie stupid at the end, like
and long story, like legit Hallmark movie to the point where like literally she sees
some of the lines were so like I was like, ew.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
What?
Say when she came back from prison earlier, he kissed her. Like that happened. It was so
the romance in this is so weird.
Literally, he comes back and he's like, I'm so sorry that happened. They kiss, and Elise is like, ugh, I hate you as a couple. And I'm like, me too,
girl. And so anyway,
and it should be stated earlier, like when we were in the time travel zone, like, and Agnes is slowly kind of piecing together like what the time travel meant. We discovered that the very first time that she met Havelock at the beginning of this book was not actually that time. Like I don't know exactly how it worked or how she stepped into this like time loop, but that Havelock was not the one that she met earlier. This was one that had met her.
So
this was the one that she had met back in time.
Basically, what it is that she rethought of that meeting, and she was like, oh, when he said, Agnes, you're here, it was because he knew who I was, and he's just been pretending he didn't know who I was this whole time.
Oh, okay. So like that was him. It was the same. When does this time loop start?
It's not actually a time loop. All of this happened already. He always, when she met him at the beginning of the book, he always knew, and so when he said a stranger stole my thing, he was like, it was you stole my thing, but he can't say it because he even says at one point, he was like, I wasn't sure if you knew what was happening or what, and he's like, and so I couldn't fuck with the timeline, so I chose. And there's even in the scene where he tells her about the lantern, she was like, it was weird, but he seemed to be choosing his words very carefully. And because I went back and I reread that scene. And the scene when they met,
I was like trying to piece together how does this make
he specifically says like, I'm not much of a time walker like Vortigern or whatever it was, so I don't know how this works, so I just kept to myself. And I'm like, well, that's boring as shit, and we didn't even have any like foreshadowing or anything except for that one brief moment or any like little allusions to it.
There was no point where I was like, oh, maybe he knows her, except for the Agnes, you're here bit, which again is so small and you run past.
Yeah. And so at this ending point, basically what happens is, as Val stated, I believe very succinctly, is it's very Hallmarkian. I think that was you that said that.
Yeah.
And basically Laurent is like, my bad, forgive, and then
my bad.
Yeah, and then she's like, nah, bro, peace. And then she gave him a cat. And
no, she forgives him. Elise is like, don't forgive him, and he sucks. And Agnes is like, it's an honor to be able to forgive him. I think he's a nice guy, actually.
And I'm giving him a cat, but I'm giving him Ambulance, the annoying cat, because I think he'll help Ambulance learn boundaries. And I'm like,
yes,
and he's gonna feel so guilty that he's not gonna return him, even though he's really loud.
And annoying.
How nice.
And then
fucking Havelock makes like a little rainforest playground for the cats. He moves the shop around. He's like, now your cats can play in the fucking woods or something.
Or no, it's a whole bunch of birds. It's a whole bunch of birds.
It's a bird sanctuary. Yeah,
he makes an enchantment so there's just birds inside so they can watch all the burbs, and it'll happen
Or
twice a
TV
day.
for the cats.
Yeah,
which,
bird
is,
TV.
which is cute.
He created TV for the cats, and then he brings her up to the attic, which we didn't know about until now. And he's like, by the way, the attic's in Paris, the place you always wanted to go to. And
she's like, an illusion? I can't believe you cast an illusion. He's like, no, it's real,
actually
baby.
Paris. And then he's like, and then she's like, coffee? And he's like, really? And she's like, yes. And he's like, well, I know somebody in Paris that like will allow me to get coffee with you. You can either follow me or wait for me when I come back. And I'm like, how does she know where the fuck to go, dude? And
even though he's like Wizard's Most Wanted, he's like, I gotta be careful. I can't go outside.
Okay, wait. I never explained the Enrique thing.
Oh, yes. Yannick.
Yes. So at one point, during her time into the, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but when she goes into the previous timeline and into the past, she looks at him and his hair is longer, and she notates that like, wow, he doesn't have anybody at this point. He doesn't even have Yannick, who, but we were told earlier in the book that Yannick, prior to the end of the world, visited Valerie once in New York and went and ran an errand for him, and that's how he knows Valerie. It's because it was before she stole the shit.
Huh. You might be right. I don't remember all the details about like,
I just
when
remember
and how
Yannick being like, oh yeah, oh no, Valerie, something. And then she's like, you know Valerie? And he's like, yeah, I only met her once, but I met her when she was in New York. And he sent me to her, and this is when they were still in contact with each other. So I assume it's before the Apocalypse issue. And
yeah, you would think so.
And so then she meaning Agnes, when she goes back in time, when she looks at him and is like, oh, poor him, he's like so lonely and so sad. What a poor person. She's like, he didn't even have Enrique. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Where did you get Enrique from? Jesus Christ.
Yannick. He just reminds me of Enrique. But anyway, she's like, he didn't even have Yannick at this point. I'm like, wait, I thought Yannick ran an errand for him.
You're probably right.
Maria, are you doing your research?
Yeah. I just because I'm like, we need to. Okay, here we go. Once in the early days of my apprenticeship, Havelock would send me down there periodically to run errands for him and keep up pretense that he still lived there. Havelock always had enemies. Valerie found me in one of his old haunts. She wanted me to convince him to speak to her again. Okay, so no, it was
this was after.
It was after because they weren't in contact. She tracked.
Never mind. Yeah. Then never mind.
But just
Good
going
job.
back to that scene that you were talking about, Katie, where like she was noticing things about younger Havelock. She also like notices the thing we were complaining about earlier, where like he's supposedly degrading like darkness and magic and stuff, and when she like hugs him and like holds him weirdly before she knows him, she's like, wow, he seems so much more whole than he does back in my timeline, and it makes her feel sad, and like none of this has any consequence whatsoever.
It's not like he's dying and he has like
he's fine,
or like he goes into moments where he loses himself and like he can't come
like
back.
How he's not actually losing himself, he's just like a little shadow.
It's very dumb. But yeah, that's how it ends. Like that's their rescue's doing great. They're opening up a third location. They end and they go to Paris. Like that's
Valerie has his majesty
and loves his majesty.
Oh, and Valerie is so happy with his majesty. She's taking him around like a little cat mom, like an obnoxious cat mom, like a cat influencer almost.
She has a look of like affection on her face, and I think the end of this book should have been Valerie and him reconciling over and part of it being the two cats that loved them, and that because what I wanted his majesty to be in line of danger and Valerie to let herself get hurt because she was like, oh shit, my cat. And in that moment our girl is like, she protected a cat. She protected a cat, and then Havelock having to be like, something has changed here, and that through her relationship with his majesty, she became different, and she has developed.
How cats can change people, and like, which is the whole thing.
The true magic of knows.
You can feel like the author kind of trying to do that, but she doesn't do it enough and not in a meaningful way. Valerie's story arc sucks. Like, she has
There's
no
none.
interesting resolution. And they're always like, well, we don't actually know. Did she lose all her magic? Who's to say? There's like kind of a question mark lingering in the air
I think
there.
we
Like,
shouldn't have had the
sequel-
go back in time. Get rid of the go back in time. Get rid of the
Yeah.
whole thing, and it should have been about cats making them better people, and them developing, and getting them to the point where they no longer hate each other, and where they actually have to destroy they find the artifact, and that the artifact is going to kill the cats, and she has to make the choice to save, like, 'cause His Majesty is, maybe he's on it and it's burning him, and she has to make the choice between saving this cat that she's had for a week.
You mean kind of like the movie?
Yeah, like that. Except the Witch of the Waste was like, no, this is mine. I'm keeping it. And then Sophie had to be like, give me that fucking thing. I need that hurt. But anyway, and so just get rid of the time travel thing. That's your fucking climax.
It doesn't mesh at all with the cat, and the cat stuff is like
The cats should be part of the climax. And His Majesty.
It's the title of the book.
Yes, His Majesty
this book
being
is such a mess.
His Majesty being in danger should make her realize that she has sunk too much of her life into this power trip, and that it hurts people. And then her being like, and then him being pissed, where like at the end, maybe Valerie and Agnes talk, but he's pissed that she finally realized she was hurting people because of a cat, and she couldn't realize that for him, his own brother. And the end of the book leaves off that maybe in the future they'll get to the point where they'll be able to actually reconnect, and it should maybe end with Agnes having coffee with Valerie and kind of giving her cat tips and being like, he'll get there eventually. He's just really bitter.
No,
That would be
not
so
just
good.
cat tips. Sliding over the adoption papers.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, like,
and then she goes back to him, and he's like, "Look, I made this enchantment." But that should have been the crux, is repairing, like, Valerie becoming a better human, him learning to love other people, and also to be part of his community. The point of this book,
Because he's like a cat.
yes,
So
Yeah,
it should have been
but
him being the cat, becoming a
community
person.
has been so much more important to
and
this book.
and he should have gotten to know his community. Like, the other people should be like, and they should have lied. He
He's
should have
still
been
a
like,
fucking loner
he should
at
have been
the
like,
end. He doesn't know anyone.
my name is Locksmith, and everybody's like, wow, we like Locksmith, who works in the cat rescue, and then surprise, it's actually Havelock Bernard, and they're like, he's one of us, and he should have become part of the community. Like, maybe he goes to a cafe, like, nobody actually knows what he looks like, and he goes out and he just starts like living a little bit, and he still tinkers, but he's got a community. Come on,
This
now.
book feels so misguided.
Yes.
Oh my god, it's so messy. Like, I'm kind of in awe of how messy it is, because this is a cozy fantasy. The premise, like, alone is kind of simple. It should be simple, and the pieces of the plot should work with each other and sort of build off of each other, and they just don't. Instead, she has like all of these structures that aren't doing anything. Oh my god, this is upsetting. This
It is
book was
upsetting.
upsetting.
It's so upsetting.
Ugh.
It's
Ugh.
wildly upsetting. Look at that. Look at that, Catito.
Oh my goodness. What?
You know what's crazy
What a
is
boy.
that, again, he's never been on a person's lap, or at least not my lap, or nor anybody else's I know of for the past 2 to 3 months until yesterday. And he won't, once he's on your lap, he doesn't get off. He just keeps, like Mochi, if I, like, unsettle myself, he's like, I'm fucking out. Peace, bro.
Yep.
And then he leaves. But if I, like, shift, he's just like, oh, let me shift with you.
Snuggly boy.
But his
PSA,
little tail is so irritated. He's like,
Adopt former strays. Old tomcats who have been, like, out there fighting in the streets with their big
He's
old
apparently-
tomcat cheeks.
apparently, he's only about
Big
4 years
babies.
old.
Yeah.
He's not even 5.
Yeah.
Aw,
You-
he's gonna get so adopted
you-
and so loved.
Make sure you adopt. They're so thankful. Former strays are so thankful to be house catitos. It's a joy. It's a joy, and adopt former strays.
It is, especially if they have like an illness. It's because that means that they can't be out on the street. If he goes back out on the street, he'd be dead boy.
Yeah, because he has FIV.
Convenient that we have this narrative arc of you and your cat with this book, though.
That's literally why-
it's all coming together.
Actually, I grabbed him earlier when we started, and I had him, and he was just laying on something. And then he, like, when I went downstairs to get an iced tea and I came back up, he was like, okay, so it's time for lap time. Oh, look at the demon.
Oh, look at that boy.
This is not a former stray. This is a spoiled ass house cat.
It's a cushion. What's it called? A pillow princess.
Yeah.
He's a pillow princess.
Jesus Christ.
He's a picky. His problem is he has single kitten syndrome. That's this guy's
The
problem.
cats in this episode of Unresolved Sexual Tension have a better narrative arc than any of the cats in Agnes.
Unfortunately, yes. So anyway, guys, in essence, I think we all agree this was not Heather Fawcett's best book. I am very disappointed by it, and I do not necessarily recommend it, though it is not the worst
Even
book
if
I've
you
ever
like
read.
Howl's Moving Castle, just read Howl's Moving Castle.
Watch the movie, read the book.
Mhm.
You're fine. It'll be good.
Yeah.
I promise.
That one chapter with the grief bit, beautifully
Beautiful.
written, gorgeous.
So-
I did
and
cry,
the whole
and I
time
was pissed. I was pissed off that I was
Yes.
crying about it too. I was like,
And the whole time I was
God damn
like,
it.
how are you in love with Havelock? Like, you
Yes!
Bro,
you had this, and now you're going to go to
had
that
this,
guy?
and now you're like, and the way she was like, oh, it is just a stupid crush. I'm like, you have a stupid crush on like a stupid pretty boy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
All right.
I'm glad we reviewed it. This was fun,
Yeah.
girls.
It was
It was.
surprisingly disappointing. I was not expecting to be disappointed.
No, we all thought it was going to be happy go fun time.
We were ready. Like, and shout out Linny. She was supposed to be here today. Happy birthday. She was too tired to
Happy
join us.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Lenny.
Wait,
birthday.
feliz cumpleaños para tu. Feliz cumpleaños para tu.
That's not French. That's not French.
Oh, it's
I
not,
don't know.
but
I don't
that's
know
all
what
I
it
know.
Ugh. All right, guys.
Ugh.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.